Green block. Yeah. And then, yeah, bruv. Yeah. Yeah, bruv. In it. Green block. Let me tell you about this one time. I went through a porthole and snuck into the North Pole and got picked up in a Hyperborean DeLorean. They said they knew I was a Webster Merriam historian, mastered a numerical Gregorian, the hysterical mystic, no more than a Pythagorean, conspiracy theory Ethereum in the etheric fear realm. I thought they were gonna take me to the crematorium in their Hyperborean DeLorean. Tested me on my Sumerian, Shakespearean, knew I was a numerical vegetarian, Aquarian, that I knew about the Tartarians, barbarians, Mars radium, aliens.
What's up, fam?
Spent the night in a
Mic check.
Hyperborean chamber. I looked around and thought, bruv, who hired the painter? Hyperborean memoriam, auditorium, all cause I got picked up in the Hyperborean DeLorean. Introducing.
All love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coffee. Appreciate it. We're about to get started.
Visible diamond minerals, crystalline and swimming pools, interdimensional realms of scrapping Catherine, Bahamas, Azores, Atlantis shores, mountains, temples, marble floors, sea floors, treasure and cities lost. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, sphinxes, pyramids and minotaurs, fruit grown in grove luxuriant. In it, inhabitants intelligent, closest seen to perfection. The whole experience, heaven to them, polar aurora, horizon beyond them. Flats and sky, lake of fire, core and flora, but bright comets, tornadoes, turbulence, not prohibition, more. Not forbidden, thought expansive, places massive. In it, yeah, bruv. In it, oh. Just hanging around. Yeah.
Welcome back, ballers. Thank you, Coffee Girl, for the mic check. Welcome back to the best night of the week, Eye to Eye with AJ, Rambo, and Cody. Episode 41 at this point. Time flies. Welcome back, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Mr. S, Coffee Girl, Sally Whitty, Sojo. Very cool to have you guys all here. Yep, it's all about love tonight, you guys, as always. First and foremost, I just want to make sure that Cody, Rambo, can you guys hear me okay?
Can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. We'll dive right into it. Cody, I know that you got a little bit more of a limited time tonight, and always appreciated for the sacrifices you make getting up in the witching hour, so to speak, to join us. So much appreciated. My name is AJ, Balll Don't Lie, 3 L's in Ball. You guys can email me at any time at wordplaybook, 3 O's in book at gmail.com. And you guys can find all of my content on Instagram as well as this YouTube channel that we're streaming on. Always appreciate the like and subscribe. I also have a Patreon for those that are interested in sports leans, notes, things that I'm looking out for when it comes to that particular space. But Cody, quickly, just for those who may not be familiar with you and your work, where they can find you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, AJ, for setting this up as usual, and also thank you to Rambo for being here. And hopefully we can have a great show tonight. If you guys want to find me, you can find me on YouTube at Decoding with Cody, and also to support the channel, buymeacoffee.com/decoding with Cody, and look forward to getting into this this stream tonight. So thanks everyone.
Thank you, Coates. Always appreciated, brother. Rambo, please let the viewers know where they can find you and support you.
Yeah, thanks again for promoting my work and showing people where they can find and support me, and Cody as well. Thank you for being here yet again. And I often forget how difficult it is for you, Cody, to make it, how inconvenient the time is. I don't take that for granted. So I appreciate that sacrifice as well as the knowledge you share. I can be found at patreon.com/thetruthcodes. Only one tier, $5 a month. There is some material for free. You can join for free as well. And I'm also on Instagram.com/thetruthcodes.
Once again, you guys, $5 a month, not a day, not a week. I can attest to it. His Discord is fantastic. Definitely helps build upon the work that he does. He always shouts out, work where it's credited. And Rambo, I know you got some things for us that maybe we'll kick things off with. But just so you guys know, so long as Myron can make it, we're going to also have a guest appearance here tonight with Myron. He got game. I'll bring back this introduction once he jumps in. He's got a few slides for us. For those that have been watching him and some of the streams I've been doing with him, there's a lot to be said about this big 619 ritual going on with LeBron. We are just 2 weeks away from that, so long as he continues to play every game up until March 16th. It is the big 16-11 ritual surrounding him surpassing Robert Parrish in most regular season games played all time. So stay tuned for that. The only thing I really have to showcase for you guys, I think I might have mentioned it, but this past weekend I did go back to my alma mater, the University of Arizona, to go see Arizona play Kansas. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun. One of the highlights, though, of the weekend was I went to the local bar, Dirtbags. Funny name, haha. And sure enough, I'm walking in, and this guy's very hard to miss. Channing Frye, he's a Arizona legend. He's like 6'10". But you guys might be familiar with him. Back in the day, he won a championship with Cleveland with LeBron back in 2016. But he was in the league for a very long time, and he was very nice enough to take a photo with me. So that was cool. But what was so bizarre to me, being away out of Austin where I live now, was not only the latest news about Iran and the US and all that kind of stuff, but one of the biggest news stories this week was the shooting that took place in downtown Austin. I don't live close by from here. I live out in the suburbs, but it was just, it was so weird, especially with everything that I've been talking about for the past year, pretty much since starting this YouTube channel, about the themes of love. And, now that we had Jeremiah Love, or no, it was Julian Love in the Super Bowl this year, record the only interception of the Super Bowl. At this point, I could write a fat book on it. But this is just the latest example. I mean, for me to leave Austin to go to Arizona, which was founded on Valentine's Day, only to find out while I was there that there was a shooting in Austin where a lot of news sources say that there were 2 dead, 14 injured. There's a few that say that it was 3 dead if you include the shooter himself. But the 2 dead, 14 injured, right? I mean, it's the Valentine's Day date. And it just so happens that this all took place right in front of Buford's bar, or whatever it's called. I've never been there. But Buford's just has a massive heart right in front of all of it. So that's kind of what I wanted to kick things off with. Is it's just weird how these synchronicities continue to fall in line with at least the themes that I continue to touch on. And my only takeaway from it is that I truly feel that everybody has their own very interesting synchronicities, as long as you guys lean into the knowledge and pay attention to what's going on around you in your own life, whether it's public information like this news story, or whether it's things that are just happening in your day-to-day life. So that's all I have for now. But I don't know, anything you guys want to talk about with regards to this particular story? I'm sure there's plenty to touch on, but
It reminds me of the Pulse shooting in Orlando, Florida. Just the theme, the pulse, the heart. They like to do these things. I've talked about the skull and bones, how it's really part of a trinity. The trinity is skull, bones, and heart. It's supposed to be a trinity. When you see skull and bones, you're looking at an incomplete trinity where the heart has been removed. And when you see the heart and a shooting like the Pulse nightclub, shooting, the pulse heart, that is, it's a ritual destruction of the heart. And the heart is the sacred feminine. It's thought. The skull is thought. The crossed femur bones, those are leg bones, are action. And the heart is emotion. It's thought, action, emotion. That's a complete trinity. When you destroy the heart, you have thought and action, but no emotion. You get 2/3 of a trinity. 2 divided by 3 is 0.666. That's why 666 can be associated with psychopathy. And it's the destruction of the metaphorical sacred feminine. The example there, the clearest example there would be the movie The Matrix, where they had the Trinity, Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity. That's her name, was Trinity. She was the sacred feminine. And Neo had to save her in order to. That was a very big, important part of that movie was Neo having to save. He had to preserve the sacred feminine, but she also brought him back to life with the power of love. So on the surface, it looks like a love story. No, that's the power of love. It's literally the most powerful vibration in existence is pure unconditional love. So on the surface, Trinity is in love with Neo, but he was dead, and she brought him back to life. So that was a metaphor for the power of love, the most powerful vibration in existence. And
well, in Rambo, the other part of that trinity that you've also talked about over close to a year now is the relation with all the stuff we've talked about with skull and bones, how the skull and the bones represent 2/3 of that trinity. It doesn't have the heart in it, right?
Yeah, 2 divided by 3 is 0.666. That's why 666 sometimes can be associated with evil or psychopathy, because you're removing the heart, the sacred feminine.
Right.
Metaphorical. That doesn't mean the sacred masculine is evil. No, it's the imbalance that is evil. Sacred masculine is action and courage. And probably the trait that is most rewarded in life, that gets you the most rewards, is courage. And that's the sacred masculine. So it's not to say that the sacred masculine is evil, but the action has to be based on love. And so that's what they're doing here. It's a very evil ritual. That's why the pulse shooting happened on George Bush Sr.'s birthday, June 12th, because he's skull and bones. And it started at 2:02 a.m. because in Gematria.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. In Gematria, 2:02 is skull and bones. And it happened on his birthday, June 12th. And he was still alive at the time. And that's what they were doing. It's a ritual. So that's what, yeah, is unfortunately. It's even happening in the war now. One of the big stories in the war is a girls' elementary school was bombed in Iran, got hit by a bomb. Always the focus on girls. That's what this is. It's destruction of sacred feminine. Now we're having the Epstein files where all these girls have been victimized. So the emphasis on female victims, even these ICE videos. I've never seen so many females being assaulted with all these ICE videos. Females being shot and assaulted and dragged. A pregnant woman gets dragged out of her car. So they really, so that's what this is about. They're actually, that's not to say that females are more positive than males. No, it's a metaphor. So the Trinity is a completion. It's balance for everybody. It's a metaphor for, they're not literally male and female. You have to anthropomorphize it so that we can comprehend, because these are abstract terms. They're just forces in the universe. So how do you grasp them or fathom them? You have to anthropomorphize them as a female, a male, skull, bones, cross, heart. But it represents balance. And so that's what they're doing. And they do this repeatedly. And they remember the Camp Mystic girls camp that got that's the same thing. And again, it was in Texas. And
didn't Barbara Bush or something, didn't they own
Laura Bush?
Laura Bush, yeah.
Bush Jr. She had worked there as well. So there's a skull and bones connection. So there's this emphasis over and over again you're seeing of female victims. It happens in so many stories. Even so, the recent hostility by Israel in the region was based on the October 7th Hamas attack. And the face of that attack, as far as the victims go, the Israeli victims, was a young woman named Shani Luke. She was the face of it. It's usually a female. That tells you what they're doing here. They're actually destroying empathy and care. That's what the cremation of care is about in Bohemian Grove. It's care. Empathy. That's the metaphor. And that's at the root of what happened here.
Well, and with what you were just saying, Rambo, shout out to Maggie. She brought up a great point, right? That the Pulse shooting happened actually on June 12th, like you mentioned, Rambo. That was also in 2016. June 12th, 612 is the reverse of 216. And it took place in 2016, 2/16. I just mentioned that I crossed paths with Channing Frye, who played for the Cavaliers, who also have a logo with that skull and bones cross, you know, that one of their versions of the logo. And he was on this team when LeBron came back down 3-1 to beat the Warriors, home of the Church of Satan, etc. But how perfect with just everything that we've been talking about. Shout out to you, Maggie.
Yeah, a great observation. Yeah, so that confirms the skull and bones is the incomplete trinity. It's 2/3 of the trinity. 2 divided by 3 is 0.666.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, great
Cody,
observation there.
Yeah, shout out to you, Maggie. Cody, anything on your end before I pass things off to Rambo? I'm still waiting for Myron. I shot him a text. We'll see when he jumps in, but we'll get him in here once he joins.
Yeah, we can just still let Rambo share his video, his clip, and then talk about that. And then, like I said, I'll speak a little bit more about the stuff that I have when Myron gets in here.
Perfect. Sounds good. So, Rambo, you have the floor, my friend.
Yeah, so this is just the intro. It's 2.5 minutes. The full video is 20, a little under half an hour, which will be out. I just have a couple things to add to it. It's actually complete. It's just that there are a couple of things that came to mind. I can't leave them out, so I'm going to kind of fit them in. But for patrons, the whole video will be up tomorrow morning, hopefully, as long as internet is up and there's electricity. It should be up tomorrow morning. It's like 26, 27, but this is the intro. Some of the patrons have already seen this intro, but here it is. Mars is the Roman god of war. I've spoken of Mars at some length. The tarot represents Mars with the Tower card. The Tower is a curious association for Mars, but when you consider that the planet Mars is said to be home to the biggest volcano in the solar system, more than 3 times the height of Mount Everest, that is the Tower, and that is why the Tower card is Mars. The world's tallest building is in the firing line of the Iran-United States bombing exchange. Burj Khalifa Tower is in Dubai, an ally of the United States and Israel that's a target of Iranian missiles. As the world's tallest building, this is a war symbol, since Mars is the god of war, and the Tower tarot card represents Mars. There have been false reports and AI fake images and videos of the Burj Khalifa on fire. While the images are fake, they're still significant for their impact on human consciousness. The Tower card is numbered 16. At the time of the bombings, the Burj Khalifa were completed 16 years ago and opened 16 years ago. Their construction started on January 6th, 16. It was in the year 2016, that a 63-story tower called the Address Hotel on New Year's Day at the start of year 16 burned in Dubai, which is now under attack from retaliatory Iranian rockets.
Amazing stuff as always, Rambo. I mean, you do have a knack for being able to share brilliant information in a short time period, like for an intro, and have the perfect music, and your editing skills are fantastic. So shout out to you once again, man. Great job.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the video. It ties in Jack Parsons. I've been talking about Jack Parsons. He ties in. He ties into Donald Trump because Jack Parsons is one of the founding. He's very important to the founding of NASA. You think of Werner von Braun as the most important, Nazi rocket scientist, founder of NASA, but Jack Parsons is also a cornerstone to this whole field of jet propulsion. In fact, JPL, Jet Propulsion Labs by NASA, everybody in NASA knows that Jet Propulsion Lab, JPL, is actually homage to Jack Parsons Lab. JPL actually stands for Jack Parsons Lab, but Jack Parsons was deep into the occult and unfortunately into the dark side of the occult. So far into the dark side of the occult that even Aleister Crowley, he was too much even for Aleister Crowley. You think nothing would freak out Aleister Crowley? Well, Jack Parsons did. And Aleister Crowley expressed his concern about Jack Parsons because Jack Parsons was trying to usher in the Antichrist. This is widely accepted as fact. I mean, you can dispute whether he succeeded or not, but Jack Parsons was part of Aleister Crowley's Thelema secret society. It was a magical order, as was L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. And both L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons were just too out there for Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley said they don't even really understand his work. They're doing their own thing. These guys are just off the rails. Most people would look at Aleister Crowley and think he's off the rails. No, they're at another level. So L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons were trying to, who knows, what is an Antichrist? How do you define it? Nonetheless, they wanted to conjure a moon child, which would be a version of Mystery Babylon, the Scarlet Woman in Revelations, the book of Revelations. They wanted to conjure that woman, a moon child, and she would give birth to the Antichrist. Jack Parsons genuinely wanted why would you want the Antichrist to manifest? Why would you want that? But Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard wanted the Antichrist to come. What they thought the benefit of that is, who knows? I have to assume they're not sane. Like regardless, and that's actually what Crowley said in the letter. Crowley said that they are not sane. Jack Parsons is not sane. Now he did not refer to him. If you notice the subtitle, you might not notice. I showed the thumbnail there. The subtitle is Frater 210. And Operation Epic Fury. Frater 210 is, so he doesn't use the name Jack Parsons in the letter that Aleister Crowley writes about Jack Parsons. He doesn't use the name Jack Parsons. He uses the name that the Order of Thelema uses as his title, which was Frater 210. And I explain why he's called Frater 210. I actually looked at the Kabbalah ciphers, which Aleister Crowley used in Gematria. He used the Kabbalah ciphers, trying to find why did he call him Frater 210. It's not really that hard to figure out, but he doesn't say Parsons. He says Frater 210, but it's clear. I'll show you, and if you can, you might just figure it out quite easily why Frater 210 is a reference to Jack Parsons. But the key to that letter that Aleister Crowley wrote about Jack Parsons trying to usher in the Antichrist is it was dated for June 14th, 1946, the very day on which Donald Trump was born under a blood moon. And it's appropriate we talk about this today because there's a blood moon today on 3/3. Even if it's not in the headlines, I'm sure there's stuff going on in the Middle East where is probably part of this. A blood moon on March 3rd, 3/3. They're not letting that alignment go to waste. So what a blood moon is when Earth is in between the sun and the moon, and Earth casts a shadow onto the moon, making it appear reddish, has a reddish tint to it, a brownish reddish tint. That's Earth's shadow that's causing that. So that's a lunar eclipse as opposed to a solar eclipse where it's the moon in between the sun and Earth. That's a solar eclipse. A blood moon is a lunar eclipse where Earth is in between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on the moon, making it reddish. So they call it a blood moon. Very ripe for ritual magic, dark ritual magic. And we're having that today. Donald Trump was born on a blood moon. And that's the date on which Aleister Crowley, when he signed off on that letter, was about the Antichrist being conjured by Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard. That was on Donald Trump's, the day he was born. So one has to speculate. Did they succeed in conjuring? They call it Antichrist. I mean, I don't know how you can even define something like that. What they thought was the Antichrist. Is it Donald Trump? Is it a coincidence? Well, the events of today, I mean, they're not positive. People don't destabilize the world to the extent that, and again, it's not even that Trump even has the power. He doesn't have the power. He's compromised. And there are he's obeying authorities above him. He's an actor, for goodness sakes. What was he doing before he became president? For 15 years, he was on primetime television, Sunday night, the primetime spot for 15 years. He's an actor. He's even in the Acting Hall of Fame, which is the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. How does Donald Trump get in the WWE Hall of Fame? This isn't a person with power. If there is such thing as an antichrist or a devil, whatever you want to refer to those dark forces with real power, they're manipulating him. But maybe he's symbolic, at least. He's at least symbolic. So
I mean, he's running on MAGA, right? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Cody.
No, I just wanted to say that as Rambo's talking about this while he's on the topic, the blood moon that Trump's born on, I showed this earlier in my video. And I have my screen shared. If you want to share it real fast, I can show you something interesting about Trump's blood moon and what he was born on. Because of this new tool that was created by Kate on Gematria, it basically, every time I type in a date, I can get the proximity of eclipses around that date. So basically, it's kind of hard to explain this without getting too complicated, but it basically just shows here, you can see the symmetrical alignment with Trump's blood moon. You can see how, so each of these numbers here, right here, the 177s, the 340s, and the 15s, they're all eclipses in that time period. So basically, Trump was born 340 days after a solar eclipse and 340 days before another one. And then he was born 15 before, I believe these white numbers are annular eclipses. Yeah, so they're annular. So he was born 15 days before an annular and 15 days before an annular, or after an annular. And this is not uncommon for there to be a 170, because this is actually the norm. 177 before a blood moon and 177 after a blood moon. That's the normal number for the blood moons. That's not uncommon. But what's uncommon is the fact that all the eclipses around his birth are completely symmetrical. And I went back and looked, because I can go through this tool and I can look, like I can click every eclipse. As soon as one comes up, I can click the next one. So I quickly went through and I made a list of eclipses that since like 1700 something, up until the year 1936, I believe. I went that many years. And I looked to see how many times this symmetrical perfect symmetrical alignment with dates and eclipses aligned, and I only found, now I have a list of dates here, but there's only one date that is perfectly symmetrical. There's a lot of dates that are 1 or 2 days off, which means they're almost symmetrical, but there is only one other date that has Trump's in that time span. I'm sure if you go back farther into the 1600s and all that, you might find more. But at least from where I started and all the way up until now, there's only one other date, and that's July 16th, 2000. So out of all those eclipses, and again, these numbers here, even though it looks like a lot of dates, I went through probably at least 100 eclipses altogether, and there was only this many dates that were even close to symmetrical, and there's only one other date that's actually symmetrical like Trump's. So I believe this is something very important with this Moonchild thing, because as soon as I noticed this pattern, I was like, okay, well, I wonder how often this happens with Trump's moon. And like I said, only one other time. So, I mean, think about how perfect that is, that he's born symmetrically with all the other eclipses around him being, on either side. So that's, I believe, why this date was chosen, at least for this ritual. If Trump is being selected for this ritual, which I agree with Rambo, he clearly is. So I think this is another proof of why he is. So
I got a question for you guys. Since these types of Martian years, excuse me, and these types of eclipses are very new to me. The one thing I did notice when Rambo pointed out that June 14th, 1946 was his birthday. First thing that kind of stood out to me from a numbers perspective was he was number 45 and then number 47. So it was like the pillars in between 46. And I was just curious if I don't know if there was anything else kind of that maybe kind of threads into this when it comes to the blood moon, because he was not number 46, but he was born in the year 46, but he was 45 and 47, I just that was just an observation.
No, since you mentioned that, I just realized, because I've been making a correlation with Donald Trump and just the events that are happening now in hockey. Hockey is really big with the U.S. winning gold. Talked about how he's trying to siphon off the energy of the gold medal winners, how their effort and their sacrifice that they made. The big hero, Jack Hughes, lost a tooth. That wasn't fake. I mean, I don't know, unless they got he really did have a chipped tooth, a mouthful of blood. The New York Post, which is a Republican paper owned by Rupert Murdoch, they literally put on their headline, because the U.S. gold medal winning hockey team went to the State of the Union, most of them. They put Donald Trump wins gold. Like Donald Trump wins gold. That was their headline. So Donald Trump won the gold. It says Donald Trump wins gold. So
look what I did. Look what I did. We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me.
All
right, I'm done.
So when you brought up the 46, how 46 is in between the 45 and 47, it just clicked. When was the last time the United States hockey team won an Olympic gold medal? 1980, 46 years ago. 46 was so I've been tying Donald Trump to especially Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, turns out he's connected to a whole bunch of stuff. Crowley, a bunch of others. But when you mentioned that 46, it just clicked. Yes, so that just ties Jack Hughes into Trump even more with that. So I'm glad you said that. It was 46 years between the U.S. winning Olympic gold medals in hockey. And that's how it ties right into Trump. So the whole thing, people say, okay, Trump's a narcissist. He probably is. Clearly, somebody's orchestrating, somebody with actual power, not Trump. Trump doesn't have power. The ones with actual power, they're the ones calculating these things. Okay, it's 46 years. okay, it's time for them to win again. They had to split his term so he can be president now. And Democrats obviously threw in the towel. They're the Washington Generals. They didn't run credible candidates. Joe Biden senile, tripping all over himself, falling asleep in public, slurring his speech, talking incoherently. Democrats were not serious. They were there to let Trump win. There's somebody above who's orchestrating these things, and they wanted to hit him in there now. And I can see how that 46 is so important. It ties in with the gold medal, and like you said, that was actually a great point. It's in between the 45 and 47, but and this Jack Hughes is a big part of this, and he plays in one of Trump's home states. He has his Bedminster golf course in New Jersey, and he has a home in New Jersey. So New Jersey is one of Donald Trump's home, and that's where Jack Hughes plays for the New Jersey Devils. So he is tied to Trump, and especially through this 46 is part of it.
Yeah,
and Parsons as well. And to Parsons, they're all tied to Jack Parsons too.
Yeah, I didn't even think about 46 years later. That's a good one. And then, I mean, Cody's pointing out right here, just in the Latin Jewish cipher, Jack equals 614. Like Trump's birthday.
Yeah, I think that's another big reason why you had
It's the same if you do a lowercase, right? With the A. I just noticed.
Yeah, it's the same. But yeah, it's that's one thing I've noticed with that name Jack, and it's one of the things I noticed back when I was doing the research on Jack Parsons and how he might be connected with Donald Trump, and I was like, oh, look at that, Jack equals, the birthday of Trump, and so yeah, I mean it's just more and more, as you learn about this stuff, that you realize that it's obvious that these things are, and this is what I kind of shared today, was that the blood moon today is lined up with the Z word here, and this Theodore Herzl, and I showed how Trump was born 700 days before Israel, which is the gematria of Trump, and which is again in the Fibonacci cipher. The Z word equals 700. So, yeah, I mean, just more stuff that I was showing today. And then I showed how today, or Theodore Herzl has in the Bacon cipher, Theodore Herzl equals 146. Like that's Trump's birthday again. And it just so happens that today is 14/6 on the Jewish calendar. And this is kind of how I mean, it's not like it was a real great prediction or anything, but the day before the attack, I was on my live stream and I told people live, I was like, I'm watching tomorrow, 2/28, 3 days before the 3/3 eclipse, for there to be, for the attack to finally go down, because they had been foreshadowing it for weeks, and I was like, I think they're waiting for 2/28, because on the Hebrew calendar, 2/28 was 6/11 on the Hebrew calendar. In the civil calendar, on the Jewish civil calendar, it was 6/11, and on the Islamic calendar, it was 9/11. I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds? They just waited, after weeks of waiting, they just decided to do it on 9/11 on the Hebrew calendar, almost in a kind of a symbolic retaliation or revenge for 9/11 with the Islamic hijackers on 9/11. And again, I've been talking about all the revenge stuff right before this, how there was a lot of revenge stuff in the news, and now you have obviously the same kind of theme where Iran is taking revenge now on the United States for what they did. So there's a continual revenge theme going. But yeah, Theodore Herzl today on the blood moon, he died 1460 months ago exactly, which is again Trump's birthday. And again, today is 14/6 on the Jewish calendar. So I believe that this whole thing, of course, is connected to the Z word and the this Theodore Herzl guy, with everything going on. But yeah, that's kind of what I was, sharing earlier.
And
the other stuff is not so important to the current topic, but
just want to say, can I say it real quick, just tying in Jack Hughes, how I said he's so important. His birthday is May 14th. Just wanted to add that.
right, yeah. Yeah, because when I had done my decode on that, that's the first thing I noticed with Jack Hughes was that he has that Israel's birthday. Can't remember now how many years was it. How many years was it after Israel was his birthday?
Oh, he was born in 2001.
Right, so the year of 9/11. I just can't remember how many years it was between his and Israel's. Because I thought there was something there that
Well, Cody, you kept mentioning the Z word. That's also the same birthday as Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, yeah.
May 14th, yeah. So yeah, that's obviously an important date, and that what's interesting about that is that 5/14 is so yeah, it was the fifth. That's right. It's the 53rd. It was the 53rd. There was something with that. I did a whole decode on that. And now I can't even remember any of it really, but there was something with the 50th. Oh yeah, Jack Hughes won the gold medal for the United States on the 53rd day of the year. And then it turns out he was born exactly 53 years after Israel, which was another clue that in a few days after that you'd have this attack, because just the fact that he had Israel's birthday, I was like, okay, well this has to mean something's coming with the Israel-Iran thing. So that was kind of a foreshadowing, I think, of that. And but yeah, and then like you said earlier, with Jack Hughes being on the Devils and then connecting with the whole thing with Jack Parsons and the Antichrist and Aleister Crowley. So yeah, it's 53, I believe, is also, was that the gematria of Moon? I can't remember if that's in the Bacon. Yeah, it is. Moon does equal 53 in the Bacon cipher, so that's interesting. Moonchild, with all that stuff, but yeah, and then Eric Dane. Yeah, Eric Dane had died a few days before that at 53. That's right. So there was a lot of 53s, and I know that's a number that's been talked about. I know one of the subscribers, Casey May, always talks about that number with Mary and stuff like that. So that's also 53, which is, again, today when Trump was meeting with, I covered this in my video, but today when Trump was meeting with the German Prime Minister, Merz, whose name is Friedrich. Well, Friedrich Merz, that's the name of his father, Friedrich. His father's name was Frederick, but his grandfather's name was Friedrich, coming from Germany. And of course, it's the German chancellor. And as soon as Trump starts talking about how pissed he is with the UK, and then he starts saying how his mother is from the UK, which is true. And then he starts saying, in the middle of the sentence, he starts saying, oh, my father's from there. And then he realizes, it's funny because he realizes his own mistake in the middle of what he's saying. And he's like, my mother is from there, the UK, but my father was also from, and then he stops. And as soon as he stops, he looks over at Friedrich and like kind of makes a little hand gesture at him, because that's the name of his father, Friedrich. He's talking to a guy named Friedrich about his father now, and he's pointing at a guy named Friedrich. So from Germany, right? And then he kind of stops, and he stops because his father was not actually born in Germany or the UK. His grandfather was born in Germany. And then he says this like little quick line, like he talks about Friedrich Merz. He's like, well, he knows all about my father. And that whole exchange was weird to me. It's like, and then Friedrich Merz, he starts laughing. Almost like he's laughing at Trump's mistake that he said his father was from the UK or something like that. But yeah, he was even talking about the wind farm on the UK. And I had just did a video talking about where his mother's from it's the most windy place, and they have like, it's known for their wind farms. And Trump was talking about how he wants to get rid of the wind farms because it's a waste of time. So again, Trump paying tribute to his mother, which I've been all over recently. And then you have this Mother Mary movie coming out later next month. And then also there's another project coming out. There's another movie coming out called Project Hail Mary. I think that's even coming out this month. So anyway, I just throw that in there. I'm just kind of hitting on some of the topics I touched in my video earlier, but that's just that's all I got right now, I think.
Now, if Cody has to leave early, then I think maybe you can just segue. I mean, if Myron's not here yet, maybe just segue into your decode now. Maybe.
Yeah.
Myron?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. I'm still waiting to hear back from Myron. You know, he said he was going to join a little while ago, but life happens, so it's all good. But yeah, I want to be cognizant of Cody's time. So, Cody, yeah, since you have the floor, please dive into what you got for us.
So what else well, since Myron's going to be coming on here, and he's going to be talking about how LeBron James is coming up on his 16-11 game to pass Robert Parrish. And I'll just kind of set the stage with everything that I've been talking about with the King stuff going on. And considering that LeBron James is, of course, King James. So I had done some decodes since the Super Bowl was all tied with King William or Prince William. And I'm not going to re-go over all of that again, but I have so many slides here. It takes me a minute to find them all. Let's see. The most important point I'll just make first is that if you go from Prince William's birth on June 21st to the birth of LeBron James, which was in 1984, on 12/30, you're going to see something really interesting. It's exactly 923 days, and this is not a coincidence because, I mean, the one gematria, and again, I always say the Latin cipher's one of the most important ciphers, if not the most important, and it just so happens that LeBron James has the 923 in gematria. And what are the odds that, his one gematria number, that this is the amount of days between William and LeBron James? So, and again, this is a big number in the community too, with all the talk of every year. There's always this conspiracy that on 9/23 there's going to be some sort of event. And I think something significant about this 9/23 is also the fact that it's 9 is the 23rd prime number. So you have this 23 connection and 23 and 9 connection. And I was talking about how last month when you had the death of Bud Cort, who played in the movie 23, that was all connected with the number 23 because he was born 230 days before King Charles. And of course, in gematria, the word king equals 23.
Hey, Cody, can I add, I just want to chime in a quick thing with what you're talking about with this 923 and King Charles, right? And the connections with the Cavaliers who LeBron King James played for, right? Have you ever seen the LeBlock, or do you know what I'm talking about? They call it the LeBlock.
LeBlock. No.
LeBlock. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just opening up a quick tab, you need to see this because this was essentially like the play that led to LeBron James winning Cleveland their first NBA Finals, I think is what it was. LeBlock. Yeah, if you just go to images, you should be able to see it. It was huge. It's like he came out of nowhere. It was Andre Iguodala who went up for a layup where the Warriors were about to run away with it.
See if I can.
Yeah.
Am I spelling it right? LeBron James.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. So just notice that it's the 923 that you're talking about. It's
right.
Number 23 blocking number 9, or in this case, number 9 being blocked by number 23.
Super interesting. I think I'd seen that before at some point, but yeah, that's perfect to go with the 923 stuff.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest plays of that particular game. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and something interesting too is that last year when the Feast of Trumpets was on 923 last year, and this was right after Charlie Kirk had been taken out, right? And notice that Feast of Trumpets equals 923, and it happened to fall on 923 last year. Well, then just a few weeks after that, on Charlie Kirk's first birthday since he was killed, King Charles turned exactly 923 months old on Charlie Kirk's birthday. And remember, Charlie Kirk was killed 666 days after King Charles' birthday and 66 days before his next. And again, King equals 66, Charles equals 66. Of course, they share a name, Charles. Oh, is Bronny wear number 9 too?
Yeah. I just want to shout out Open Up. That's a great addition too.
Well, that's a perfect addition because we're talking about the son of King Charles taking over, LeBron's son.
Yep, there you go.
Born 923 days before LeBron.
God.
So yeah, that's it right there. I'm telling you, that's what this is. I think that's what this eclipsing ritual is about. And I mean, well, the eclipsing of the 1611, I think it's going to, I'm not saying it's going to happen this month with Prince William, but I mean, it's going to be another foreshadowing of it for sure. And that's why, so after I was talking about all this stuff
it's also 9:23 my time right now. That's crazy. I just looked up. Whoa.
So after all this stuff, so the first guy who brought this attention was another Gematria channel, Gematria book. He had shown how the Super Bowl was completely synced with Prince William, and it's undeniable, really. And so then I started looking more into it. I was already looking into William for the past year, like kind of seeing when it might happen. Bronny declared for USC on King Charles' coronation. Wow. Okay. But anyway, with this stuff going on with Andrew, these news stories started being posted just the last 2 days, and so this is legit. I mean, this is the Royal Observer. I think it's a pretty big, and a lot of other places were posting this as well. But also, let's see. So just going to read real fast. If rumors are believed, King Charles has already in effect passed the crown to Prince William, just not on paper. And then it says later down here, the possibility that Charles could hand over the throne within the next 12 months is, they say, being treated as a serious and structured discussion. So yeah, within the next 12 months. And then on the day that, so considering the 23 stuff, when Bud Cort died, who played Sirius Leary in the number 23, he died the same day as James Van Der Beek. Now, James Van Der Beek is Dutch. His name is Dutch. And the Dutch king, William V, if you just look up William V, he was born on March 8th. And that just happens to be James Van Der Beek's birthday. So when James Van Der Beek died, it was on William V's birthday. And when William becomes king later, he'll be the 5th. So it was clear. It was so clear why they did this. Then I found out later that this is not the only William that connects with. If you type in William the 2nd, 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 2 second. See if it's this one. So this guy. So a few weeks before all this, I had been talking about the name Anne because we had Catherine Ann O'Hara die. We had Anne Hathaway revealed as the playing Mother Mary. And I talked about how Trump's mother's middle name is Anne and how Anne was the mother of Mary in the Bible. But not only is William V's birthday March 8th, March 8th is also the death date of William II and III, which is of England. So I was like, okay, so you have two Williams connected with this March 8th date, two former kings connected with this March 8th date, the day James Van Der Beek has his birthday. Well, this guy, he died and it was taken over. He was replaced by Anne. So I was like, man, my riddle with the Annes is also connected here. So, I mean, what are the odds? I mean, that these two kings and again, then I started looking into other things and March 8th, and I started realizing that, March 8th is like it ties in with LeBron because LeBron, when he made his, LeBron passed the record. Kareem. It was on February 7th, 2023. Well, if you go to February 7th, 2023, and you look at the day of the year, it was the 38th day of the year. That means that if you go from that day where he eclipsed. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Did I miss something there? Yeah, that's right. LeBron was 38 years and 39 days old when he did that. So he was almost 38 years, 38 days old when he did that. He was one day after his 38 when he, no, wait. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, and then the record that he passed was 38,038.7 points. I remember covering this. It was all about 38. I mean, what's the odds? He just turned 38 years, 38 days old. On the 38th day of the year, he passes the record of 38,038.7 points. LeBron James equals 38 in Chaldean gematria. So that's like the eclipsing. That's like the passing, right, of the torch kind of thing. And now we're talking about another thing that LeBron's about ready to eclipse. So, but if you measure from that date to this upcoming 3/8, it's basically the start of the 38th month since he did that. If you were to go back one day, so 3/7 would be the 38th month. So, but that's also interesting. 3/7 is 37 months after he did that. And remember, the record he passed was 38387. So you had a 7 in there as well. So you had this 3738 thing. And so I'm like, and it's perfect too, because if you look at the day of the year that March 7th is, it's the 66th day of the year. Well, I mean, LeBron equals 66. And Charles, if you spell it right, Charles equals 66. And notice how LeBron and Charles have multiple overlaps, but that 66 is also important because in the Latin cipher, king equals 66. But king also equals 67. And so March 7th, March 8th is the 66th and 67th day of the year. So that's kind of how I got onto it. There's actually way more because there's a whole wrestling riddle going on here. On the day of the attack by Israel, WWE was holding an event, Elimination Chamber. And all of their wrestlers that they're bringing up, their current new wrestlers they're bringing up, they're all connected to this William theme. One of them is named Trick Williams. He's like a new star of the company. His name is literally Williams. And the other guy is named Javon Evans. I covered this earlier, but Javon Evans is both his names are of Welsh heritage. And he's been walking around wearing the shirt 67 recently. And I'll just share this mind-blowing fact. So I was looking into all this 3/8 stuff, March 8th, and then I discovered that Javon Evans has the 2 Welsh names. And of course, Prince William is currently the King of Wales. Actually, they gave this wrestler the name Javon and Evans, and his name is literally John. Because in Welsh, Javon is a Welsh name that derives from Ifan, which is John, and Evans is a Welsh name which derives from Ifan, which is John. So this is why you know they're choosing these names absolutely perfectly, because they've given this guy the name John, which is both Welsh. And of course, that made me think of, and he even has, his name is Javon, and he has this capital V in his name. And check this out. So I was just telling you about the 66, right? LeBron 66,
Lakers.
and Charles 66, and Javon 66. But he's walking around wearing the 67 shirt, like King equals 67. And he's a new star as well. So you have Trick Williams, new star, Javon Evans, new star. Well, then I looked and I was like, let me just see the date duration between Javon Evans and Prince William. Let's see if there's something there. Well, I found out that on the day that Javon Evans was born, Prince William was 21 years and 313 days old. Okay, so remember that. And then I was like, okay, how old is Javon Evans on March 8th? Javon Evans is 21 years and 313 days old on March 8th. So what that means is, think about that for a second. I'm looking at March 8th, then I start looking into this guy, and it just so happens that Javon Evans will be the exact same age that William was when Javon was born on March 8th. What are the odds? Like, out of all the date durations you could find, and he's the youngest wrestler in the WWE right now, this Javon Evans. Like, I could brought up that and shown you guys so it was easier to understand, but I think the point is, like, all this March 8th stuff has been really just like getting to me. And there's other things I could talk about with this guy, but I'm just saying, I just was looking into him, and he had this perfect alignment with March 8th. So I'm not saying that this is going to happen on March 8th. If it does, I mean, it would make a lot of sense why it would happen that day. But they're just releasing articles now about this happening. So I'm definitely feeling like this is really the riddle here, but I don't know if I don't think it's going to happen. It seems too soon. The other date I'm looking for is in June 6th. But anyway, I was kind of hoping to lead into what he was going to present when Myron comes on. But I'm going to have to get off actually pretty soon because it's already 4:30 here. I can stay on for another 15 minutes or so, but that's just kind of a lead-in for when he does come on. But I think that this is another big part of this riddle with LeBron, is this passing the torch, passing Robert Parrish. And I haven't really looked into Robert Parrish anymore. I probably should. And how that connects to all this. So,
well, absolutely, right? Because but by the way, Cody, that's brilliant work as always. Yeah, I mean, Robert Parrish is huge, right? He's the one that LeBron is about to eclipse with the whole 1611 alignment. King James Bible published in 1611, LeBron, King James, etc. It's a very biblical, ritual that we're on the doorstep of. And what Myron's talked about is that how perfect would it be for it to happen on March 16th, which goes back to Austin 3:16 and John 3:16, right? That kind of whole play. And
well, wow, that's perfect, because think about it. That the verse John 3:16 is all about God gave his only begotten son.
Yeah,
right?
it's like the most popular Bible verse ever.
Yeah, and we're talking about King Charles' son.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. And it's LeBron who's playing with his son.
Right, exactly.
Like we talked about, yeah.
So that's why. Wait, hold on. Is this true? Somebody's saying Javon born on March or April 29th. Will I Am was married on April. Will I Am the artist, or you're talking about Prince William? Hold on. Let me just look this up, because that's big.
I think it was Prince William, is what Gene's clarifying.
Huh. You see, guys? You see? That's a great addition. You see, that's why I love having other people, because I would have. That's just another clue. And what's interesting about his wife, Catherine, we just had Catherine O'Hara die before all this other stuff went down, and I think today is actually Catherine Day or something like that. But so April, 1 second, guys. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no, really quick. I also wanted to shout out Mr. S. This goes back to you, Rambo, and the work that you did with Ricky. Heinz Ward's birthday is on March 8th. So kind of going back to that 3-8 connection, Heinz Ward, the Heinz, the ketchup, mustard, hot dog connections, and also the birthday of James Vanderbeek, who recently perished.
Yeah, so also with that Heinz Ward connection with his birthday, because it tied into Tom Brady, they're both 3-8. Tom Brady is the 3rd of August, or August 3rd. Heinz Ward was March 8th or 8th March.
That's right.
That's actually why, and I only picked one player to score a touchdown before the Super Bowl, and I figured it would be number 38, who was Ramondre Stevenson. He's a running back. He's not even a feature back like Walker is with Seattle. He shares the load. They have a tandem of running backs for the New England Patriots. He actually gets fewer carries, but it was through that 3-8 that and that Heinz Ward birthday that I was able to predict that Ramondre Stevenson would score a touchdown. And that was a Super Bowl with very few offensive touchdowns as well. And he wasn't one of the players you'd most expect. But yeah, it was through that Heinz Ward connection.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Vanderbeek also played, I think it was like John Moxon or something like that, which was a quarterback in Varsity Blues, right? So you got that Tom Brady connection there too.
Which also connects. I remember when you shared with that, and I never did any videos about this, but James Vanderbeek played a guy named John Moxon. And just a month before, just a month before, during the ICE shootings, I had covered a wrestler named John Moxley.
What? Really?
You remember that? Remember how the whole thing was synced up?
No, I must have missed that particular stream.
Well, no, you were there, because I had even talked about it on one of our Eye to Eyes.
Man, my brain can only keep so much.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it happens. And
yes, this. Yep. Okay. Yep. As soon as I saw the picture.
And do you remember how perfectly I showed it was tied to Renee Good? How his wife's name is Renee Good. This guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a wrestler, and his wife is also in wrestling, and her name is Renee Good. And his name was John Moxley. And then later we get the death of Vanderbeek, who played John Mox, like essentially the same name. So I never even looked more into that, to be honest. But I'm sure there was a huge riddle there that I could have followed. I just didn't have time to do it. But yeah, I mean, that was another wild connection. Because I know when you sent me that message, when we first found out about James Vanderbeek's death, you sent me this Mox thing. And I was like, wait, that's the name of this wrestler, John Moxley.
Yep.
And remember, he was born on December 7th, which this past year was that big date, 9/11/01 days after 9/11, where I flew and I landed at 9/11 in Washington, D.C. So yeah, that's just a bit off topic. But
well, hold on, Cody. You know what's crazy? I just pulled it up just to verify. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan Moxon. It is. But looking at the final part here, he plays the backup quarterback, right? Paul Walker, like we've talked about, he plays the starting quarterback, right? And he gets injured. But Paul Walker's name, going back to your December 7th birthday for this other Moxley guy, Paul Walker's character's name in Varsity Blues is Lance Harbor.
Oh.
So
okay.
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, and think about how this guy is known for being in the stable called the Death Riders. Kind of like Paul Walker died. His death was while he was riding in a car. Right?
Yep. Good one.
And Renee Good as well, right? She was in a car when she got killed. So, I mean, this guy is super important because when he first came into the WWE, he's not in the WWE anymore. He's in the other company, AEW. But when he first came in the WWE, he was with Roman Reigns, right? And of course, Roman Reigns is one of the most symbolic wrestlers alive today because of first of all, his name, right? Roman Reigns, but in everything I've shown with him before, and he's about ready to be at WrestleMania 42 versus CM Punk, which reminds me, this past week, I had shared something with Rambo in the chats that, they had paid a huge tribute to Sirius this past weekend. They even played the song Sirius for one of the wrestlers, CM Punk. I'm not going to get into that now, but like, again, wrestling, while it may seem stupid, it's definitely not. It's definitely a theater for the world stage. And again, I had shown something absolutely phenomenal with this past weekend and the attacks and how the whole thing was synced up with the Waco siege, because the same dates of the supreme leader of Iran, his death date and his birthday, are 4/19 and 2/28, and the Waco siege lasted from 2/28 to 4/19. So those are the 2 dates of the Waco siege, and then just quickly. So yeah, the Waco siege, and then, but not only that, WrestleMania. So on that day of the death of the supreme leader, it was the Elimination Chamber for WWE. That was their event, and of course, their WrestleMania event will be on the guy's birthday. So the last 2 big shows that WWE is going to have before their big event was on 2/28 when he died, and then the next big event, it's on his birthday. So those are the same days as the Waco siege. And what I pointed out was that, this guy that they debuted at the show on 2/28 has the same birthday as the guy who did was part of the Waco siege, David Koresh. He has the same birthday. And then I found out that this guy, Danhausen, so David Koresh's real name equals 2/28. And Danhausen debuted on 2/28, the day of the Waco siege. And then Danhausen was born 2 years and 28 weeks before the Waco siege on 2/28. And check this out. Danhausen equals Waco siege. And this video didn't get much traction, but it was one of my, I found this in like 20 minutes, guys. I was like trying to find something to talk about. And then I was like, all of a sudden I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to cover this. Like they literally debuted a guy who equals Waco siege on the day of the Waco siege, who has the same birthday as David Koresh. I mean, it's not just a 1 cipher match either. It's 3 ciphers. And he was born on the 33rd anniversary of the Waco siege, and his name, Danhausen, equals 33. And I was wondering why they were doing this. They debuted this guy out of a coffin, and this guy's not even like, he's my size. He's 5'10", 180 pounds. He's not a prototypical wrestler. He's like kind of a joker. He curses people. And on his first day back after the show, he cursed somebody, and the curse actually worked. Like, so he's like this comical figure that curses people. His song starts out as "You Are Cursed," and then he says, and then his whole song is about being very evil and very nice. His song is like, Danhausen is very evil and very nice. So this guy's hugely symbolic. I think he's going to turn into a huge hit in the WWE for his comical stuff. And he actually has a very good character. As somebody who's followed wrestling for years, he has a character that I just see him. It's going to catch on. But what's funny is he's all connected to me. He's born the year we're born, AJ. We're born in 1990. He's born in 1990, and he was born 59 days after me, and he debuted on the 59th day of the year.
Whoa.
So there's just a bunch of weird, and he's exactly the size I am. I'm 5'10", 180 pounds, and he's 5'10", 180 pounds. So it's interesting, but yeah. Anyway, it's just more proof of the wrestling stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a good one for sure. I mean, anytime you get even 2 matches, let alone 3 or 4, on top of the birthday alignments, that's very telling. I just want to let you know, Codes, I got a text from Myron. He said he'll be on in 5 minutes, but I also told him that you'll be off soon, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off here in about 5 minutes. I mean, I can't go much longer because
no, I totally get it, because like, you know how quickly you blink and then time flies. But I did want to shout out Keith. He was, pointing out today is the anniversary of the Rodney King beatings. We've been talking a bit about King James today, so shout out to you, Keith. That's a good one. The other one, shout out JM27 pointing. I don't know if you heard this story, Cody, or you, Rambo, too, but we were talking about Jonathan Moxon, Vanderbeek playing Mox in Varsity Blues, and latest in the news we have the Colorado quarterback who just died in a car accident. I believe he's the backup quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, Sanders? No, not Sanders.
No. Well, Sanders is the coach, right? But the quarterback for, I believe he's second string. But the backup quarterback,
not because Sanders' son was the quarterback for Colorado, but not anymore, of course. But he was.
Oh, I don't. No, I don't think it was his son.
I mean, I would think so. I would have heard about that.
If you want to share screen and pull it back up really quick, like we can just look into it while we wait for Myron. If you just search Colorado quarterback car crash.
This guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Ponder? Dominique Ponder, yeah.
Yeah, so just, I mean, something to look into. I mean, that this is a couple days old, maybe.
He was 23.
There you go. There's your 23s again.
Well, and this whole thing right now that's going on with Jim Carrey. I mean,
oh man,
one of the most viral things going on right now is this Jim Carrey thing. And of course, this happened right after Bud Cort died. And I had brought up Jim Carrey and the number 23 movie. And then a few days later, Jim Carrey's all of a sudden viral. And he's wearing a mask. And then,
well, dude, do you remember, did you ever see him in Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
He played Lloyd. Right, he played Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber, but it goes back to what one of the first things Rambo said in this stream. Jack Hughes, when he got hit in the mouth, now he's got chipped teeth. That was the whole thing about Lloyd and Dumb and Dumber. That was the whole thing about his character, right? Like, at least physically, right? Was that he had chipped teeth. So
yeah, that's funny because I didn't think about that part about his having the chipped teeth.
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect, actually, because you know what Danhausen's gimmick is? The guy I just talked about? He gives teeth to people.
What?
Yeah, he pours teeth, and when he's in a match with people, he pours teeth down their throat. And then in his debut on the other night in Elimination Chamber, he gave teeth to the announcer. Like, his whole thing's about teeth. So that... Oh man, that's even something there I need to think about. Because I mean, like Rambo said, we just had the Jack Parsons thing with the teeth, and there's probably more to it.
Yeah, here's another thing that I've been talking about with Myron, and he's about to jump on really soon. And I know you got to jump off soon too, Cody. But think about this, and shout out to you, Rambo. When you pointed out, remember we talked about the helicopter music video?
Yes.
With A$AP Rocky. So that's from an album called Don't Be Dumb. Don't Be Dumb, right? And where was I going with this? And then you pointed out to me that the whole helicopter thing, the things that they're doing is from a music video called Rise Up from Petey Pablo.
Yeah.
And then I think I said this either offline or whatever, but it made me think of Dumb and Dumber again, of Petey, the parrot that doesn't have a head. Like that was like one of the most popular jokes, was that they gave Petey, a dead bird, essentially, right? And only to find out, shout out to Myron, who's jumping in right now, that ASAP Rocky ended up showing up on Saturday Night Live on Jim Carrey's birthday. So and then that was shortly before all this conspiracy stuff about, was that really Jim Carrey, him being cloned and all that kind of stuff. So just interesting stuff with the chip teeth and the mask and Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber and, all that kind of stuff. But what's up, Myron? How are you, brother?
What's up, AJ? What's up, everyone? How are you guys?
Hey, good to see you, man. I know Cody has to jump off here soon, but Cody, yeah, I'll let you kind of wrap up your thing here really quick.
Well, yeah, because I need to get off. I'm already past where I wanted to be, but it's unfortunate that Myron wasn't able to get on until now, because I had shared some stuff earlier, Myron, with the Prince William, King Charles stuff that's going on. I don't know if you saw any, but it's going to kind of tie into what you're going to talk about. I know you're going to talk about the King James stuff passing parish, and so yeah, people have already kind of got a little bit of an idea of what I think's going on with the Prince William thing and how that might tie into it. But unfortunately, I don't see myself being able to stay much longer, because I have a very busy day traveling the next day. So,
Okay.
but I mean, I'll be watching a little bit after I get off here. I'll be watching and listening to what you're saying, and if I'm in the chat, if I'm still awake, I'll type anything additional. But yeah, I don't want to think I'm running away once you get on here, but we'll have to do a stream.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Myron, I guess really quick, we're like right before Cody jumps off, and Cody, feel free to jump off whenever you have to. And Myron, typically you and I go through kind of the order you would like the slides, but I did notice that you did have one of the visuals you wanted to share about wrestling. And I thought maybe we could start there, just with having Cody in the corner, who, you both are big wrestle heads. So I thought maybe we could start there, if that's not too out of place.
Yeah, of course. No, that's fine. We can definitely start here. I've been wanting to jump on for Cody for a while, because I don't know too many people that tie wrestling in to gematria or any of the decodes, but I do think wrestling always plays a huge part in it, the storytelling and everything that always seems to align. I did find two things recently. I was sharing with AJ, one, like the whole Austin 316 with the shooting that just took place in Austin. But both events, like the Austin 316 thing I found, and then the clock, the Doomsday Clock with the Legion of Doom, both of those I found connections to WrestleMania 14, since we are in the time of Leo the 14th, Pope Leo. So I'll start with the visual that is showing right here. There's been like a lot of Doomsday connections with the Doomsday airplane that was flying over that represented Trump. And then the Doomsday Clock that just keeps getting closer and closer to midnight. So the Doomsday Clock that you see above here, the scientists that created this, they were from Chicago, that created the Doomsday Clock. And we know that Pope Leo the 14th is from Chicago as well. There was a very popular wrestling tag team called the Legion of Doom. Their finishing move was the Doomsday Device. So they were very popular. I believe they started in 89. I think because the clock said it was 89 minutes until midnight. And I think the Legion of Doom, they debuted in wrestling in 1989. But their finishing move is called the Doomsday Device. And I found a parallel because it says 89 seconds until midnight. The Legion of Doom, they made their last WrestleMania appearance at WrestleMania 14. So that's connected, and they always announce the Legion of Doom being from Chicago as well. And it was in a battle royal, and the battle royal, the last team they eliminated in the battle royal was called the Midnight Express. So I thought that was like a huge connection piece and ties to Pope Leo. And then just the connections in Chicago, because I do know the WrestleMania main event this year has to do with Rome and the Roman Empire, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk, who is Chicago. And he represents Chicago every chance that he gets when it comes to him showing up on a pay-per-view.
Oh, that's sick. You got anything on that, Codes?
Yeah, that's I'm glad I stuck around at least for this. I'm gonna have to look into them now, because like I said, I just did this whole thing from the other day when they had Elimination Chamber in Chicago.
Yep.
On the day of that attack on Iran, and then the Elimination Chamber was, tied into that, as I just showed with this Danhausen thing. And Danhausen was, when he debuted, he debuted because CM Punk, who's from Chicago, he was pushing for him to debut. Supposedly, that was the thing. So there's a tie-in here with Chicago and the Doomsday thing. I didn't even think about with. Well, I mean, of course, I knew that their move was the Doomsday device, but yeah, I didn't even think about how that might tie. I'll have to look into that, but that's a great observation.
Thank you. And then there is another one. If you can go to the slide that has LeBron, like the 316. So this one we have been covering, of course, as always. Like, I go to the big ritual, the Bible ritual for LeBron James is once he eclipses 1611 games played because of the 1611 King James Bible. So LeBron, if you can see here, he's scheduled to break the record. So he can tie it if he doesn't miss any more games. He'll tie it on March 14th, which is Steph Curry's birthday and Pi Day. And then he'll actually eclipse 1611 on 316. So he'll break the record officially on 316 of this month. And LeBron, if you remember in 2003, LeBron goes to a wrestling event. So Monday Night Raw is in Cleveland, and LeBron has a flip phone, and there's a video of him taking a picture of Austin 316. So if you it was like a huge thing of LeBron, because he was 18 at the time. He was the next phenom supposed to go into the NBA, and he captures a photo on his flip phone of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then during COVID, you saw him walking around with the mask with the LeBron 316 shirt. And then when he joined the Miami Heat, the Big Three. Shout out to Golden Deception for bringing this to me, but their numbers, you can see the 3, the 1, and the 6. I was going to go into that because, of course, the verse for John 3:16 is about giving your only son so that everybody does not perish. And whose record is he breaking? He's breaking Robert Parrish's record. Robert Parrish is another NBA player that finished his NBA career in Chicago. His last NBA game was after he won the championship with the Chicago Bulls. So he didn't play after that. So he's breaking Robert Parrish's record. The last name, Parrish, is the body of the church. So we have the play on the King James Bible, and then the body of the church, which is the parish, which LeBron is about to break. So that's why I believe like there's going to be this huge ritual coming up. And then for it to fall on this date, specifically 316, is I don't think it's a coincidence. And I was talking to AJ because Austin 316, again, he won his first title at WrestleMania 14, the same one where the Legion of Doom returned and did their last WrestleMania. Stone Cold, to go with AJ's love themes again, he beat the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels, he's another person that's from Texas. They have him from San Antonio, Texas, and they have Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is also from Texas. But I thought it was like an organic side because AJ is like, well, it's a coincidence that I live in Austin. I go to Arizona to watch the game, and then there's a shooting in Austin. And I'm like, dude, Austin 316, because Shawn Michaels, they have him listed from San Antonio, Texas, but he was really born in Arizona. So I just thought there was like a little organic side to that Stone Cold won his first WWF title in the main event at WrestleMania against the Heartbreak Kid. And it was the tie on the Austin shooting that just happened. And then his opponent that he beat was Shawn Michaels. I like the Golden Gate Bridge you guys have been connecting. I think WrestleMania 14 is a huge clue for you guys, because even the enforcer was Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson, he's the Iron Man. He's called the baddest man on the planet, but he's Iron Mike Tyson. And to make a steel bridge, you need iron. So we have been touching on all the Iron Man themes, and then just everything that has to do with iron. And Mike Tyson is he's called Iron Mike, and I know he was the special guest referee in the main event at WrestleMania 14. So I think WrestleMania 14 has a lot. If you could just go back and look at all the matches, you have Undertaker, who has to do with death. That was the first time he fought Kane. It was like a Cain and Abel kind of biblical rivalry, but they fought each other at that exact WrestleMania. It's a lot of clues in the WrestleMania 14 saga for you. So I wish we had like a lot more time to talk the wrestling pieces, but before I go to the other slides, I just wanted to run that by you just to see, like, just to pop some ideas or run some ideas off of you when it came to wrestling and how it tied in gematria and what they're doing and all of the themes that they're tying into the world stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna jump off after this, but you got my mind turning for sure. I mean, with everything, and I'm gonna dive into the numbers later and to see how I can tie all these things together. But the fact that you're bringing up WrestleMania 14 and all those things you just said, I think you're definitely onto something with that. And again, great work with this 316 stuff, because the WWE paid tribute to that even in the recent years with the WrestleMania 40. Seth Rollins, his reign ended at 316 days.
Yeah.
And then his brother, Roman Reigns, his reign ended that same day at 1,316 days. So you had both of them have that 316. And I kind of mentioned how the 316 for Roman Reigns was all about at being the one, how he always holds up the one finger.
Yeah.
And then, so he's the 316, and then you have the 316. So it's kind of like an emphasis on the 316.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Seth Rollins just came back.
He sure did.
And he just stomped Paul Heyman into the ground.
Yeah.
What's Paul Heyman's birthday?
9/11.
Paul Heyman's born on 9/11.
Yeah, right? He was the huge 9/11 ritual in 2001 when WCW and ECW went to war against WWF and they invaded WWF, and then months later you see the Twin Towers happening on his birthday.
Right, exactly. So Paul Heyman just getting stomped. I mean, Paul Heyman was bloody the other day when this happened, so they took him off in an ambulance. So super symbolism that ties into what you're talking about with the 316. So, and I was just talking about the number 315 in my decode today, because it was all tied with Elimination Chamber, which equals 315. And I won't get into that, but 315 is, of course, one day before 316. So that'll be the middle day between when LeBron ties and breaks. So I think there's something to that as well. But yeah. Great work, man. And I really appreciate your work, and I always watch when you guys do your streams. But we'll have to get you and AJ on a stream on my channel, and we'll do a wrestling perhaps we'll do one around this time of the breaking thing. We can do a video or something maybe about that if you guys
yeah, I would love to, man.
Yeah, that would be fun. The only other thing I'm going to say is, once again, with the love thing, we had the Austin shooting in front of the heart-shaped bar, right? Bedford's or whatever it's called, with the big heart. And then, Myron mentioned Robert Parrish, who is best known for playing for the Celtics, right? And what is a clover? It's heart-shaped leaves, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all right there. But anyways, yeah, Cody, thank you so much, man, for sticking on for an extra couple of minutes, just to kind of knock out the wrestling piece as well. I'm just so thankful that you two were able to at least have a quick chat about this, and definitely we should do a part 2, part 3 moving forward on
definitely.
this.
Like I said, I'll let you guys know, or I'll keep AJ in touch, or I'll let you guys know if we'll try to set something up, maybe at least sometime this month. We can talk about this on my channel a little bit. And
okay, and one more before you leave, Cody, the heart themes also, AJ, just know, like, for Austin, so Austin's career was pretty much surrounded by like the snakes and the hearts. So Austin, like he had a spinal injury because of Owen Hart. Owen Hart is like the wrestler known for cutting his career short. The wrestler that pretty much put Austin over the top was Owen Hart's brother, Bret Hart. And then Owen Hart with the King themes, Stone Cold, I mean, with the King themes, he won King of the Ring against Jake the Snake Roberts, which was another snake. Stone Cold is known as the Rattlesnake, and he won King of the Ring. And that's kind of like the promo that he cuts after he beats Jake the Snake Roberts. They tie that into how Austin became Austin 316. He's like, Austin 316 just whooped your ass because Jake the Snake was like into religion and about the Bible. And Stone Cold, like after he beat him and became King of the Ring, he started talking about Jake the Snake and mocking the Bible. And that's how he got his nickname, Austin 316 too. So hopefully we can do a show because I believe wrestling has a lot of storytelling behind what we're talking about for sure.
Yeah. Great additional points. Yeah, definitely. And there's a guy named Austin Theory in the in the WWE right now was with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, he's part of the Vision.
Right. With Logan Paul, which ties in with the Paul brothers again. So it all connects. We know that, but I'll try to put some pieces together and I'll get with you guys and then we'll hit more of this. But I'm gonna jump off now and I'll be listening a bit more before I fall asleep. But
we appreciate you, Codes. Shout out to the chat. Let's give Cody some love. Let's give Myron some love. I mean, just the knowledge you guys bring is amazing. So yeah, Cody, get some sleep. Thanks again for all that you do for this show. It means a lot, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, AJ and Rambo and Myron. I appreciate all three of you, and I look forward to speaking more. Have a great day and night, everyone.
Right, you too.
Get some rest, brother.
See you, Cody.
So I guess quick pause here. Rambo, obviously a lot of dialogue between Myron and Cody. I love being a fly on the wall just with any of these kind of conversations, especially because I don't know anything about wrestling. I'm learning more, but and Rambo, you've said the same thing about Cody, like that you've never thought about wrestling until you really started engaging more with Cody and just realizing really how much wrestling really is a big piece of this puzzle that we're continuing to put together. So I just wanted to kind of yield the time to you of anything else you wanted to share or, talk about with Myron so far with what we've.
Yeah, not on wrestling. Yeah, not on wrestling. My wrestling knowledge is not that deep. It's just some of the things Cody's mentioned I've been able to build upon when I've seen some of the themes they do, especially with the dimensional thing, with the three, especially that really stood out. And they also do a lot of the cycle symbol, the underworld symbolism. It gets really profound. Yes, I was really impressed from what Cody has shared. I was really impressed at the depth to which they go, which it's not obvious. So that's the way they present, just in general, in the mystery schools. They don't spell things out for you, and it's up to you to notice it. And I see that's what they do in wrestling. It has some really profound spiritual messages, which is it is the complete antithesis of its surface appearance. The complete antithesis. It looks idiotic. It looks brainless. It looks childish, juvenile. But the messages, if you have the eyes to see, the messages are profound. And I didn't realize until Cody pointed it out. But
it's almost like that. It's almost like that "be as a child" quote in the Bible. One of my favorites, Matthew 18:3. Unless you humble yourself as children, you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. Otherwise, I never knew you. Right. So it's like these profound messages that are in such a childish, over the top type of performance, where it's like, if you humble yourself enough to watch this childish performance, you're going to see how profound it is,
Yeah.
But I don't think,
I wouldn't say that, like watching wrestling would be part of just say a spiritual search necessarily, because even WWE understands its fans aren't. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like the fans are part of esoteric mystery schools. They're not, and they know that very few of their fans will actually understand them. But it's not just wrestling; they do that everywhere, even events in the news. Right. But I wouldn't say that wrestling fans are on this journey and they need to. it's up to people to it's for those who have eyes to see. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I have gotten an appreciation for some of those what Cody's pointed out and some of the things I looked into, like when Hulk Hogan did that bring down the Twin Towers, the predictive programming for 9/11. I decided let me watch the whole. I really watched the whole thing. Then I saw the whole profound thing, which is about Persephone and going to the underworld, and they had the Trinity again with Miss Elizabeth. I talked about the Trinity earlier: Morpheus, Neo, and the Trinity from the Matrix. Well, it was Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and Miss Elizabeth. They always have that male, male, female. Talk about the heart, Miss Elizabeth with the heart. So yeah, I mean, I looked at the whole thing. Let me look at the fight, and I did several decodes on it. But yeah.
Well, and then we had that whole thing with Celebrity Deathmatch, right? When I was like around the time when Ozzy Osbourne died, right? I was doing my own code that I was sharing, and then you were like, "Holy smokes!" AJ just showed that photo of the whole Queen Elizabeth, on the shoulder kind of thing. Like it was that was amazing.
I just want to point out another Austin in the news before Byron can continue.
Yeah,
Austin Tucker Martin showed up at Mar-a-Lago, supposedly with a rifle or something, and got shot recently, like last week or so, or 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. That's the name of the shooter at Mar-a-Lago, because they have all these supposed assassination attempts on Donald Trump. They were really sketchy, and the perpetrators are always these comical-looking people. But this is the latest one. Donald Trump is safe and sound in the Oval Office. And Austin Tucker Martin, that's another major Austin in the news. They say he got shot. He showed up at Mar-a-Lago with a rifle or something, and then the Secret Service shot him. But that's another major Austin.
Right, which was before the shooting in Austin just over the weekend. Yeah. Wow. He's from North Carolina.
Oh, the shooter?
Yeah, how about that? I just typed his name in.
Oh, you just looked it up? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from ABC 7 Chicago. Oh. Who was Austin Tucker Martin? North Carolina man. Shot dead at Mar-a-Lago. Anyways, yeah. Okay, good stuff. Well, so Myron, sorry to put you on the spot, man. I know we kind of dove right into the wrestling stuff. I didn't know if this was kind of the order you wanted to present your slides.
We can stay here.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, well, once again, to reiterate to anybody who's tuning in tonight, LeBron James is on the doorstep of eclipsing, matching, and passing Robert Parrish with most games in NBA history, with exactly 1611 games. As we know, the King James Bible was first published in the year 1611. LeBron King James, right? And along the way, Myron has shared a lot, and he continues to build on these 3:16 connections, especially because John 3:16 is essentially, I would confidently stand in that corner to say that it's probably the most popular Bible verse that people know, right? And so for him to match that 1611 on March 16th makes a lot of sense. But the only way that happens, right, Myron, is if he plays every single game.
Yeah, he cannot miss a game. He cannot miss a game. He will tie the record on March 14th, and then he will eclipse the record on 3:16.
There you go. So he would match it on Steph Curry's birthday. How fitting.
Steph Curry's birthday, and we know the history with LeBron and Steph Curry.
And it's Pi Day.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there were a couple other slides here too that you had.
Yeah.
You had a little bit about Kobe. I guess we already touched on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also had Charles Luckman as well as Kobe.
Yeah. For Kobe. So I have Kobe slide because, as we all know, like a lot of the world who really didn't know gematria, but just started kind of questioning things around 2020 was after the passing of Kobe. It was extremely suspicious how LeBron passed him in points. And then the very next day, there was news of Kobe Bryant's passing. And I believe since then, there's been so many connections of LeBron connected to Kobe. The most obvious one was Kobe's all-time games played both regular season and playoffs, totaled 1566. And we know that was the year the original King James was born. We know Kobe, he retired the exact same year that LeBron King James won on King James's birthday. So just to continue the things, I dove a little deeper. Kobe Bryant, so his death, if you add up all of the ages of the victims in that helicopter crash, including Kobe's age of 41, it equals 316.
What? Wait, so if you add up 13, 50, 56, 46, 14, 45, 13, and 38, you're going to get 316?
Including Kobe's 41, age 41,
and
yes,
it's
you get
41.
316.
Oh my God.
You get 316.
Was that Golden Age who found that? Or
no. I found the age. I feel like they have been trying to Mandela affect this, because at sometimes they will have it and it would be 315. And then if you Google it a week later, it'll be 316. But I remember specifically looking up and adding the ages months ago, because I had been waiting to see if something landed on 316, and the death toll of all the ages accumulated from the helicopter crash equaled 316.
Wow, dude. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say.
And that is a segue into Charles Luckman. So can we go to Charles Luckman? For those of you who don't know, Charles Luckman is the architect of the Great Western Forum. So the Los Angeles Lakers, they played at the Great Western Forum before they moved from Inglewood to downtown Los Angeles at the Staples Center, which is now Crypto Arena. So Charles Luckman was the architect of the Great Western Forum. If you look at his death day, he died January 26, which is the same day Kobe Bryant died. Kobe Bryant started his Lakers career at the Great Western Forum. For those of you who do not know, the Great Western Forum opened 17 years to the date of LeBron James's birthday. So the Great Western Forum opened on LeBron James' birthday 17 years before he was born. How did LeBron become a Laker? He became a Laker, leaving the 17th state of Cleveland, joining the Los Angeles Lakers in year 17 of his career, winning the Los Angeles Lakers their 17th title after Kobe Bryant died. So the Great Western Forum, which is the Lakers' old arena, has the birthday of LeBron James, and the architect of the Great Western Forum has the death day of Kobe Bryant.
And he died in the year of the upside down 666. Yeah, we've talked a bit about that. But the other thing I'll point out too, just once again with the love themes, Charles Luckman, Lucky, the Lucky Clover, the Boston Celtics with the heart-shaped leaves, right? So I just want to throw that in there. But Rambo, you got anything on this?
No, I'll let him continue.
Okay,
that's fine. I mean, this was all the images that we had. I can always pass things back off to you, Rambo, or I can always go to Google and pull anything else up, Myron. I know it was kind of last minute.
I have a couple of things to elaborate on. I wasn't able to get you the slides because I had a very busy day. Definitely one of the themes, because in the month of February, they have Denzel Washington like hugging LeBron James. I know that was a clip that went viral, was Denzel Washington walking over to LeBron James and kind of like giving him this hug on the sideline. And I had always been pointing out that Denzel Washington plays in this movie called The Book of Eli. Denzel Washington and LeBron James, their birthdays are one day apart. But Denzel Washington plays in the movie called The Book of Eli. It's like a post-apocalyptic movie, and Denzel Washington is a blind man, and he's protecting the Bible. So they're trying to get the Bible. There's a man trying to get the Bible from Denzel Washington in the movie because he wants to use it to control the minds of the people. Denzel Washington is able to make it all the way on the Golden Gate Bridge. There's a scene on the Golden Gate Bridge where the bridge is destroyed, and he makes it to San Francisco. He has to cross the water all the way over because there's still normal civilization in San Francisco. Denzel Washington meets a man and he recites the Bible because the Bible is in Braille because he's blind in the movie. So he reads the Bible word for word in San Francisco, and then they end up publishing the King James Bible before Denzel Washington dies in the movie. So he has to make it to San Francisco, and then he reads them. It was the only Bible left, and he had possession of it, and he reads the Bible to the person's writing it out in translation. So Denzel is translating the Bible, and then you see them go to the printing press, and then they print in mass production the King James Bible at the end of the movie. And I felt like that's significant, and Denzel plays a role in this because for those of you who one of my favorite movies, which is my favorite movie, is He Got Game. That's what my screen name is on my Instagram. But He Got Game, Denzel Washington is the father, and his son's name is Jesus. So he's the father of a son named Jesus. And this is a very popular movie in the 90s. It's my favorite movie because I grew up playing basketball. But Denzel Washington, he goes to jail for killing Jesus's mother. So in this movie, he's the son, he's the father to the son of Jesus. In the book of Eli, he's the last man protecting the King James Bible. And then I believe it was last year or 2 years ago, he ends up playing the Roman emperor when the Romans are the ones who crucified Jesus. So I believe like Denzel Washington's connection and him having that viral moment in February where he goes and gives LeBron King James like this final hug, I feel like it was just a symbolic notion of what's to come once LeBron eclipses this record.
It makes me too think because it was Jesus Shuttlesworth, right? That was
Yes, correct.
Played by Ray Allen.
Yep. One of his former teammates.
I was going to say, not only that, he was a huge reason that saved him that championship with that, Bosch.
Yep, Jesus kind of protects. Yeah, Jesus protected King James' legacy
with that corner three, man. That corner three.
Yeah,
everything was over before that,
Yes.
Yeah. So, Rambo, anything? I never want to put you on the spot. I just want to make sure that we're all getting time into to add anything.
No, that's okay.
That's good stuff.
No,
Myron,
it's a great decode. The 316 age thing was mind blowing. Those ages adding up to 316. Yeah. So
the final piece I had to share, this will be my last piece. I just wanted to bring it to the audience, was Damian Lillard, his connection, Mr. Dame Time. He returned over All-Star Weekend to the 3-point contest. So he had been injured because of his Achilles tear, and he hasn't played in this year in the NBA at all, but he returned in All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend was in Los Angeles. So I wanted to emphasize like Damian Lillard's connection to Kobe Bryant in Los Angeles. Damian Lillard, he made his debut against the Lakers in Los Angeles. Damian Lillard he was drafted number 6 after LeBron won his first NBA championship. The year Kobe Bryant died, the Lakers' very first home game was against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard, I believe he scored 48 points, and he returned this year in Los Angeles where Kobe Bryant will be turning 48 years old this year for his upcoming birthday. But I wanted to point out his connection that I found. So Damian Lillard, his birthday is on the 15th day of the 7th month. It's July 15th. And so that gives you 157. So Damian Lillard, he has the 157 connection. After Kobe Bryant died, the All-Star game that was dedicated to Kobe Bryant, the winning team scored 157 points. Team LeBron won with 157 points. At that All-Star game, Damian Lillard, he performed at the halftime show because, Damian Lillard is a rapper now. He's like an NBA player and he's a rapper. But he performed at that All-Star game. So the Team LeBron, they won with 157 points. Of course, LeBron is your Laker. Dame made his debut against Los Angeles. He was the first team that the Los Angeles Lakers played at home after Kobe Bryant's passing, and then the halftime performance of him at the All-Star game that's dedicated to Kobe, they score 157. Why is Kobe Bryant and 157 important? Because Kobe died on the 157 days after his last birthday. So, and his name, Kobe Bryant, equals 157. What blew my mind was finding out that Joe Jellybean Bryant, Kobe Bryant's father, died on Damian Lillard's birthday. So Joe Jellybean Bryant also died on 15/7, the same day that Dame Lillard was born. And of course, this ties in because Dame Lillard right now suffering from an Achilles injury. That's the same injury that plagued Kobe Bryant and pretty much determined the downfall of his career was the Achilles injury before he just age took over and he ended himself. If you look up the very first game after All-Star weekend, Damian Lillard's Portland Trailblazers played the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets put 157 points on Damian Lillard's Blazers.
Was that this year, or are you talking?
That was this year. That was the first game after this year's All-Star break where Damian Lillard returned. And I brought up the 157s. The very first game after Damian Lillard returned, the Blazers gave up 157 points to the Denver Nuggets.
So what day was that? Blazers versus
Lakers? I don't know the date. Yeah, Blazers versus Nuggets. It may be like February. It just put Nuggets 157 points, and then you should be able to see the day.
There you go, February 20th.
There you go. So I believe that's 2 days after the All-Star weekend break. The Portland Blazers' first game, they give up 157 points after Damian Lillard returned for Portland to enter the three-point contest in Los Angeles.
Unbelievable, dude. And not to mention that Dame Lillard with his whole rap album or whatever, he has a whole song dedicated to Kobe.
Yes,
it's called Kobe Bryant. Or is it called Kobe or Mamba?
I think it's called Mamba or something like that. Yeah, he does have, and he also has a song that came out before Kobe's passing where he's rapping about Kobe Bryant's death. Dame Lillard has a song called Funeral that came out, I believe, in 2016 or 17, but he's rapping about Kobe Bryant, saying that him and his daughters are going to look out for his trophies. And this is way before Kobe passes. But if you go onto his music page, he has the comments turned off for that song.
Of course he does. Ever since I was a young boy, I be getting buckets. I remember that song.
Yep. But yeah, that's all I had. I'm sorry I couldn't get you the visuals. I was running in between work and errands and everything. But thank you for letting me hop on and share the little bit of stuff that I was able to contribute to you guys. It's already amazing stream.
No, you're good, man. You just made it that much better. This is definitely something that not many people in the community, at least that I've been watching, have been talking about, with Dame Lillard reeling it back to LeBron James, the 1611, the connections with them and Kobe with the 1566, and especially now this 316, man. This is brilliant work.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome to hang out and stay on if
okay.
you want.
Yeah, I might have. I'm gonna hop on. I have to drive home. I haven't even made it home yet. I wanted to hop on the stream quick. If I'm able to get home and then hop back on, I will, or else I'll just join you guys in your live and then I'll drop some stuff in the chat.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, we're coming up on a 2-hour mark anyways. But before you jump off, Myron, Rambo, was there anything else you wanted to just add?
I wanted to say something real quick about the LeBron James connection to British royalty.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a rule with the British royals. You cannot touch them. They can offer to shake your hand. I mean, shake their hand. You can shake their hand. Outside of that, you cannot touch. It is strictly prohibited to touch members of the British royal family unless you are royalty yourself. So they could be interacting with, I say the Japanese royal family. Japan has an emperor, or the royal family of Denmark. Spain has a royal family. They can
Okay.
actually touch them outside of shaking hands. You know, like put your arm around someone, or like even Prince William visited the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where at the time LeBron James was playing. Yeah, there you go. LeBron James was playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers at Brooklyn Center. And this is the controversy. He put his arm around Kate. So what they're now, what they're trying now, everybody knows this. Everybody, you really think he forgot? Like, oh, yes, right. I'm not supposed to touch. They always, it's very strict protocol. Before you're going to meet the royals, everybody is told, like, you can shake their hand, you cannot touch them. Everybody, you get that.
Okay.
They're signaling. So this is like a big signal. What are they? They're saying, who knows what bloodline LeBron James is from? They're basically saying they're treating him like he really is King James.
Yes, exactly.
Only royalty can touch them like that. Only royalty. No one can touch. So he was allowed to do it. Like, of course, that's not what the press will say. Oh, he was allowed to. That's like considered conspiracy.
Yeah.
The press story, like, oh, how LeBron James made this big faux pas, and like, well, they think that he was briefed and he forgot. I mean, yeah, he was briefed, told to be cut. I don't know if LeBron James has the full understanding of the symbolism. They're basically saying he is literally King James, because only a king is allowed to. And she was pregnant with Charlotte.
Who is she? What's her name? Tell me her name one more time.
Kate Middleton.
Kate Middleton. Okay.
Yeah, Kate. Yeah, Princess Kate. Now she was at the time. She's here. You can see she's pregnant.
Okay.
With, Charlotte. Charlotte ended up. So Charlotte is in her womb right there. Charlotte eventually would be born on May 20th. When was the King James Bible printed? On May 20th. So there's a lot of so this event here ties into the whole decoding the King James. So Charlotte would end up being born 404 years after the publishing of King James Bible.
I'm thankful. I'm glad that you pointed out. I know I've shared with AJ, but so LeBron, when he first changed his number to number 6, maybe this was a ritual that has to do with royalty. But the player that let LeBron wear number 6 when he made the decision and jumped to the Miami Heat was Mario Chalmers. And if you just look Mario Chalmers up, if you look at his kids' names, one of his children's name is Queen Elizabeth. So his daughter's name is Queen Elizabeth, and his son's name is Prince Chalmers. And this is the player who gave up his number 6, like as honor once King James made it to Miami.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so this is all done very consciously. And these guys, so people are assuming that Chalmers just came up with it. No, they're told to do it.
Yep. 100%.
It's a branded ritual. They don't see the full picture necessarily. I can't say how much each one knows. He was told to do it. Yeah, he was
100%.
Yeah, that's amazing. I guess Prince Chalmers is almost a play on Prince Charles.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting too, though, with this whole Mario Chalmers thing that you just pointed out, Myron, is don't forget about the creator of Mario just died within the last 6 months. It was I remember doing a post on it on Instagram because it tied everything in with Yoshimoto and how Yoshimoto won the MVP for the Dodgers this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, you had the creator of Mario die, and he has like Moto Yoshi or something. It was like just a flip of their names. So you got the Yoshi Mario connection. You got the Super Mario 2 movie coming out. I think it's on April 1st, 4/1. So you got that connection. But then don't forget about all the Luigi Mangione stuff.
Yeah.
You know, with what's, been brewing in the news over time. But yeah, I just want to throw that in there too, because this whole Mario, like the timing of this, even though Mario Chalmers was a player, won championships with LeBron in Miami back in the day, fast forward to now with everything we've been talking about, the Mario themes seem to be going on as well. So
correct.
Very fitting.
So this might be a little bit off the topic, but just since we're talking about it,
Yeah.
It's slightly off topic. So another time where they broke this protocol of touching the Queen was when Michelle Obama put her arm around Queen Elizabeth. Like, you can look at that picture.
Okay.
A little bit off the topic, but Michelle Obama, and again, it's just like this big hoopla was made out in the media. Oh my God, she broke protocol. You're not supposed to do this, and again, it's another. You really think that the First Lady of the United States hasn't
Doesn't
been
know.
briefed? Hasn't been
Right.
briefed on how to interact with the royals and do not touch them. And then the Queen she just obliged. The Queen put her arm around Michelle Obama's waist. So I don't know how often I've seen other people allowed to touch them, but I don't know what it is. Like, well, I don't know. I see certain black people are allowed to touch them. I don't know why. Because there's even a soccer player. So Prince William, who's soon going to be the new king by the looks of it, his favorite team is Aston Villa. And Aston Villa has a black player as well. Her name is Morgan Rogers. And they're touching each other. Put Morgan Rogers, Prince William, and they're touching each other. So I know I'm seeing a pattern. I mean, I just don't know what to make of it.
Right.
Because I don't see Morgan Rogers, Prince William. Oh yeah, there they are. Look, see there? They're touching each other. You're not supposed to touch royalty. Is that picture over there where they're have their hands on each other's shoulder there?
He's like grabbing him by the neck.
Yeah, they're all touching each other.
Definitely. Yeah. Maybe they're hinting at something that they want us to see, but that's untold.
The thing is, I don't see this. It's a very strict protocol being broken. Just since we're on the topic, maybe there are examples. The only examples I've seen are with black people. I don't know what their relationship is or what's behind all that. There's even another one. If you want to put Queen Elizabeth, Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah was the president of Ghana. He's considered the father of Pan-Africanism, where she actually danced. She danced with Kwame Nkrumah. I'm just saying, look, I haven't noticed this. It's a pattern I'm noticing. I haven't seen them break this protocol. This is the only times I've seen it. I'm pretty sure that maybe I've missed it. It's just a thing. Anyway, so I'm just pointing out a pattern I've seen.
That's good.
You know what this makes me think of?
I do not know what's behind it.
You can't touch this.
That's probably is related.
Well, hey, there's that MC. There's the MC again that we haven't touched on in a while. But
I have more MC stuff with the Moonchild stuff. But just since we're on the LeBron James, how it tied in with William, and it's just a pattern I've seen. I don't know what's behind that.
Well, hey, LeBron is royalty, and anytime he gets touched, he throws a foul. It's a foul. You can't touch me. Don't touch me.
No, it does. You do have to wonder what bloodlines these players are from. These people are from.
100%.
With the Obamas, I think it has to do with ancient Egyptian pharaohs. But now we're getting off the topic. But it has some pharaonic connection with the Obamas. I mean, if you look at Barack Obama, and I've lived in Africa, and people who are from Africa and from the Middle East, there's a specific look that people who are a mixture of Black, African, and Middle Eastern Arab, there's a distinct look that they have. And Barack Obama has that look. I don't think the person who they say is his father really is his father.
Yeah.
He looks Egyptian. He looks like a cross between an African and a Middle Eastern. Barack, and so do his daughters too. And so that's the way it look if you're from Egypt. It's a mixture between Middle Eastern, Arab, and Black in Egypt. He definitely has that pharaonic connection, and that's why Michelle was allowed to touch her. So who knows about Morgan Rogers and Kwame Nkrumah? Who knows about them? But if you heard of Freeman Fly, look into the work of Freeman Fly. He's really big in the truth community. I don't know. I haven't seen him that much lately, but he has a really amazing theory on Barack Obama. But I know I don't want to get too far off the topic, but it is related. Yeah.
Here's one other big one that just kind of hit my brain now that you brought it up, Rambo, and you as well, Myron. Just talking about royalty, King James, right? Well, what does Corona mean? Crown, right? What happened during Corona?
The Royals.
You can't touch this.
Oh, okay.
Right. It was the whole thing about like anything you touch, it's just spreading germs. You know what I mean? Like you can't use currency now, right? Like so, I think that was a good one. I mean, you think about just the royalty, you can't touch royalty. C word, can't touch anything, right? There's, you know, I mean, yeah, something to think about. But yeah, shout out Quantum, just saying never noticed that pattern before. Thanks, Rambo.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm just pointing out what I've seen as a pattern, and I can't say what's behind it exactly.
Yep. Always more to it for sure.
But that definitely LeBron James, he's being honored literally by the British Royals as literally King James by allowing him to put his he didn't just touch her like Michelle. He had his arm around her. He was sweaty. He said a big sweat stain in his armpits. Like, man, they really went over the edge on that one, but they wanted to make a point there, and that's a big part of the whole ritual. I guess I have to look at the date. I'm pretty sure Cody's good with doing the date stuff. The date of that to maybe the time he eclipses the record, maybe March 16th or something. There'll be something in that, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, definitely. Especially because it's Robert Parrish. Now you have Robert Prevost as the new Pope. You know, Pope is kind of royalty as well, right? I mean, in a way. I mean,
and the Robert Parrish is called the Chief.
Ah, well, it's funny you say that because you know who you brought up, Charles Luckman.
Yeah,
he was born in Kansas City.
Yes, he was the Chief. Yeah.
So things to think about, man. But Myron, I know you got to go. So you know, feel free to hop off or stick around as long as you want.
I'm a head out. Definitely will chat. It was always good getting to see you and your work, Rambo. I'm gonna catch the beginning of you guys' stream, hopefully while I'm on the road, and then I'm gonna hit you up after the stream once I get settled down. AJ,
sounds good, man. It was
all right. See you
a
all.
blessing to have you, man. Seriously.
Yes, love everyone.
Peace, Myron. And yeah, so Rambo, I wanted to be cognizant of kind of your presentation. We kicked it off with you doing the intro video. And then we quickly kind of shifted over to KODI since, you know, his time was limited and whatnot. So I wanted to make sure that you had the time to go over anything else now that we, you know, hashed out things that Myron talked about.
I've got a few things. I don't want to touch on too much of my video because then what will be the point in anyone coming to my channel, right?
Fair.
Plus there's so much on this. I'm astonished at how much the extent to which I almost call him Charlie. No, Jack Hughes ties into things. So I want to talk about a little bit about Jack Hughes. So as we know, Jack Hughes, he's a big American hero now. And because he scored the winning goal for USA hockey over Canada to win the gold medal, and I think Trump has been told to do this. He's not doing this on his own. This is all symbolic. It ties in with this war that was about to start. Like even you had mentioned, the 46 year he was born in, 46 years. And Jack Hughes, of course, has to go full mega. But look at this. Jack Hughes becomes U.S. hockey hero by scoring golden goal against Canada. Ford's winner at 141 in overtime. That means there's 141 left in the overtime period. Why is that significant? Well, Jack Hughes, it may seem like a stretch, but you'll see, maybe not in this community where we kind of connect things that don't seem connected. Well, I guess some of us not in this community may think it's a stretch to connect Jack Hughes to Jack Parsons. Why? Just because they got the same name? Now, I've gone over why he's connected to Jack Parsons. You can't even make this up. So Jack Hughes, he's a big MAGA symbol. And again, I don't believe any of this is his planning. He's told to do it. He's a young guy. He'll go along with it. But when they had the U.S. hockey team at the Oval Office, they made sure he had a special position right up next to Trump and kind of lean in and just to identify with Trump a little more closely than the others. In fact, he's even worn the Trump campaign hat. This is a Trump campaign hat. It has, and this is what you pointed out. So on the side of these Trump campaign hats, it says 45-47. Now what's in the middle of 45, 47? You brought up 46, the exact amount of years since the U.S. won Olympic hockey gold. So he's wearing a Trump campaign hat. Here's another member of the team. I think he plays for the Buffalo Sabres. He's got full MAGA, and this is Hughes' brother. So they're MAGA. It wasn't just visiting the White House. They're identifying specifically with Trump. Jack Hughes is. So he shares. I made the association between Jack Parsons and Donald Trump is through the whole Antichrist thing, Moonchild, MC, very important, that Jack Parsons was trying to conjure, and the letter regarding Jack Parsons' effort to conjure a Moonchild who will birth the Antichrist. You can't make this up. This is accepted as actual fact that he at least tried to do it. You can't confirm. So something like that's impossible to confirm. Yeah, did they actually create the Moonchild? They can't confirm that, but did he do a ritual with L. Ron Hubbard designed at ushering in the Antichrist? Yes, it's just generally accepted. It's not even a conspiracy theory. That's how Jack Parsons was. And he's a genius of a guy. And he's a rocket, very influential in the field of jet propulsion. So this is I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's Aleister Crowley's letter regarding his concern about Jack Parsons. And here's the date. In England, they write the date first. Outside the United States, 14th June 46. It's a pretty amazing thing to see. He says, it is no good talking about Frater 210 coming over. So who's Frater 210? He doesn't say Jack Parsons. Frater 210 is Jack Parsons. If you see my video, you'll see why he calls Jack Parsons Frater 210. And so I won't read the whole thing, but in the end, he says, he's talking about L. Ron Hubbard. He's saying, curse these people. And he's talking about Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard. No, of course, whatever. These people who have no ideas of their own and who can do nothing but pick up my ideas and try to put them into operation without in the least understanding them or knowing how to bring them to success. Because they're all members of Crowley's Thelema. Apparently he, talking about Frater 210, Jack Parsons, or L. Ron Hubbard, or somebody is producing a Moonchild. And this is done on, and look who was born on this day. We're talking about a Moonchild. And on this day, there was a blood moon. And Aleister Crowley actually published a book titled Moonchild. I believe that was 1904, I think. And so there's another person connected to Jack Parsons and aviation and jet propulsion. That's Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes is a very famous aviator. You could say he's one of the fathers of aviation. And you see how that ties in with Jack Parsons' work. In fact, Jack Parsons actually worked for Howard Hughes. And Howard Hughes, they did a biography of him famously, starring Leo DiCaprio, the aviator. He played Howard Hughes, a very famous portrayal. And Howard Hughes's birthday is December 24th, 1905. It was very significant. Again, so he has the last name as Jack Hughes. So his first name Jack, like Jack Parsons, but his last name is significant as well. Hughes. It ties into Howard Hughes. Now, this is where it may seem like a stretch. Oh, just because they have the same last name, Hughes, he's tied into Howard Hughes, and he's tied into Jack Parsons. I can see how Parsons is connected to Hughes. Oh, you'll see how they're tied in. So this is confirming that Jack Parsons actually does have a connection with Howard Hughes. Jack Parsons, a pioneering rocket engineer and co-founder of Jet Propulsion Labs, JPL, Jack Parsons Labs from NASA, worked for Howard Hughes at Hughes Aircraft Company in Culver City, California during the late 1940s. He was eventually fired. So he was a colleague, an employee of Howard Hughes. So Jack Parsons is connected to Howard Hughes directly.
Whoa.
And so, are you going to say something?
No, I just said wow. So in other words, Jack Parsons worked for the Howard Hughes company.
Yeah, so they are connected. And Howard Hughes had to fire him because they said he was taking trade secrets and giving them to, I think, Soviets or whatever. They might have had something more to do with that. I've made maybe some of his occult practices had something to do with, but he had to fire him because Jack Parsons was out there. So yeah, so there you have your Jack and your Hughes. Jack Hughes, the big American hero right now. Jack Parsons, Howard Hughes. Still seems like a bit of a stretch, but so
I wouldn't say so. I mean, that I don't know how much more direct it can get. I mean, it could obviously get more. I was going to say, like, I mean, that's enough for me. Where I'm like, wow, man.
If it was just that, I wouldn't have done the decode. I always look when I do a decode, I need that kicker. Once you get that little major dot connector. So Howard Hughes. So remember the birthday of Howard Hughes. It's December 24th. So the hockey player, the star of the moon in 2026, at the time of this war, Jack Hughes, his birthday is exactly, and I mean exactly, in between Howard Hughes' birthday and Jack Parsons' birthday. So this is Howard Hughes' birthday, December 24th. This is Jack Hughes' birthday, May 14th. This is Jack Parsons' birthday, October 2nd. From Howard Hughes' birthday to Jack Hughes' birthday is 141 days. That's from Howard Hughes' birthday to Jack Hughes' birthday. This is in a non-leap year, which is most years. So the next one is from Jack Hughes' birthday to Jack Parsons' birthday. It's 141 days. So he's right in the middle, perfectly placed in the middle between Jack Hughes' birthday and Howard Hughes' birthday. Exactly 41 days in between the two. And he has both of their names. He has Howard Hughes' last name and Jack Parsons' first name. And why is this significant? This 141, not just because it fits in perfectly in the middle. Remember what I said at the beginning. When did Jack Hughes score the winning goal? 141 in the game.
And that was 141 remaining.
Yeah, right? 141 remaining, which is on NHL.com. They highlight the 141. Devils forward wins it at 141.
That's freaking wild, Rambo. Holy smokes.
So yeah, I mean, so it's not so yeah, Jack Hughes. I have other stuff on Jack Hughes. He's just very super connected. Yeah, it's clear here, 141. Also in the let's do one thing here, the K cipher, which is a Francis Bacon cipher, Rosicrucian cipher. It's a really strange looking cipher, but the significance of the K cipher, it's the only cipher in which G equals 33. And it uses the Elizabethan alphabet. Well, hockey is 141. I have a little other. Oh yeah. So another thing is to keep an someone I've told to keep an eye on is Jack Parsons, who's the goaltender for Providence College hockey. I brought him up back in December. I brought up Jack Parsons, the goaltender And at the time, I wondered, could he be in line for some glory as well with Providence? I don't follow NCAA hockey. And at the time, this is back in December, Providence College was ranked 17th in the NCAAs. The Final Four for hockey is called the Frozen Four. And at the time, Providence College was 17th, which, okay, it's not that big a stretch. Well, I've lately been looking at, so how are Providence College doing? Especially because my eyes on this goaltender, Jack Parsons. I think he's a big story because Jack Parsons is very relevant now. Providence College right now is 5th. When I first started talking about them, they were 17th. Now they're 5th. They've just been steadily climbing the ranks. In fact, in the last poll, they were 6th. So they just keep climbing. They just keep climbing the NCAA men's hockey Division I rankings. So they are contenders. Providence College are contenders. Remember that the duck, Don, the duck that showed up at the New England Patriots Monday Night Football game? That same duck showed up at the Providence College game. So, yeah, so this is somebody to look out for, and Providence College is a team to look out for because Jack Parsons, with all the whole Moonchild thing and Donald Trump, you can't make it up. Yeah.
Well, Rambo, check this out. Shout out to Akuda Kiwi. Shout out Akuda. Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Who played what was his name? Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes, yeah.
Right, born November 11th. For what it's worth, he played Howard Hughes, 88, and he played Jack in arguably one of his biggest movies in Titanic. And guess what? Jack and Rose in that movie. That's crazy because there's been a lot of Rose themes that we've been touching on, Myron and I as well, just with Derrick Rose getting his jersey retired in Chicago. And then you had the death of Catherine O'Hara, who played Moira Rose. And you had the officer Derrick Rose, who was shot and killed during that CDC shooting last year. So, yeah, the Jack and Rose themes, Titanic. That's a good one. Akuda.
Yeah.
Right.
That ties in, that ties into the Jack and the Hughes. So he played Hughes and he played Jack. Yeah, that's amazing. So
there
Jack
you go.
too. So Leo DiCaprio. Yeah, that's amazing.
A good one.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That's a good one, Akuda. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. He has his own channel. He has some brilliant decodes of his own. Kiwi.
Well, make sure that you guys go check out Akuda Kiwi.
Yeah,
is this the channel that he's?
No, he has a YouTube channel. If he can just show his YouTube channel, he has a brilliant decode on the 9/11 and on why 9/11 has such an esoteric importance. He has a really great decode on that. Yeah, if he'd put his channel name, because I subscribed, but I forgot the name of the channel. But
so it's not Akuda Kiwi. He's just watching from like a different account, I guess.
No, if he
we'll see if they jump back in. But Akuda Kiwi, you guys, shout out to you for that Leo connection. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Anything else, Rambo? Is there any?
I mean, there can always be. I mean, I'll do more decodes on this. I can do just real quick some Moonchild stuff, because it's a thing. What if Donald Trump is the Moonchild? I mean, it very well could be. Like, it's amazing, or at least portraying the role of one. But I have to thank what is that?
Oh, no, I was just going to say Myron's listening in as well and says that the iceberg hit the Titanic on April 14th, the same day as, same birthday as Pete Rose. So there's like this Jack and Rose connections. But yeah, sorry, back to you, Rambo.
Yeah, so there's the MC Moonchild. Also, I shout out indirectly because it was KODI said that it was Sean Desad who pointed out that MC stands for Moonchild. So I shout out Sean via KODI, making that MC Moonchild connection. So there was an MC, and again, and now another shout out, BPM, one of my patrons. He pointed out that the MC at the Winter Olympics, where the U.S. hockey team, I can see the significance of that. At the opening ceremony, Mariah Carey performed. I did a decode where I showed 2 years ago at the Grammys where Miley Cyrus won her first ever Grammy, which most people don't really follow the Grammys that closely. You'd assume that she'd already won one. All the years she'd been in the business, she hadn't won one, and until 2 years ago. And when Miley Cyrus received her Grammy, she received it from Mariah Carey. Miley Cyrus said, "This is iconic. One MC receiving an award from another MC."
I remember
highlighting their initials. So it's a big thing. And MC Moonchild. So MC was at the Olympics at the opening ceremony, and she sang the song Volare, which in Italian means fly. And who's the famous fly with MC? Marty McFly. Yeah, Marty McFly, MC Moonchild. Volare means fly. Aren't we just talking about the aviator? Ties right in.
There you go.
Yeah, ties right into the aviator, Howard Hughes. And then Hughes becomes the hero at these Olympics. MC Moonchild. Also, BPM pointed out, MC is Milano Cortina. These are the two host cities. MC, that was another MC having to do with Moonchild. And it relates to Donnie Darko too. Donnie Darko is all about the moon. Darko, the dark side of the moon. Donald Trump. So Donnie Darko, the director's Richard Kelly. He directed Donnie Darko.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Kelly's father worked for NASA on the Mars lander program. So,
oh wow,
yeah. I guess not just anyone becomes a big movie director. And your father worked for NASA on the Mars. And you see the emphasis of Mars, God of War, which I've talked about, the volcano on Mars, the tower. But yeah, Donnie Darko is it's all about the moon in general. So yeah, I'll have more on that, but just a quick MC Moonchild, a few notes on that. Yeah, but that's about it for now.
I love it, man.
Plenty more
to look forward to. And you said as we open that as long as everything allows, you'll have your here we go with my camera. You'll have your main video, like you showed us the preview at the beginning of the show, but you'll have the main video out tomorrow.
Yes, it's called Dance with the Devil is the title. And
okay.
In the thumbnail, I don't know if I can get the thumbnail back up there. It's Donald Trump.
There you go.
Yeah. Donald Trump and Jack Parsons. That's the thumbnail for that. Frater 210.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't wait to see more why in that letter they were referring to Jack Parsons as Frater 210.
I actually gave the clue away in the decode I just did. If you were paying attention, it was there.
Apparently, I wasn't. Either that or it just went right over my head.
It was there in the presentation I gave. But yeah, but this is what my next should be like. What, a 27-ish minute video, and I have other little shorter videos I'm going to put up on like Instagram as well. So yeah, it's plenty to decode. Definitely.
I was spending too much time writing all the 141s and the Jack Hughes and the Howard Hughes and the Leo DiCaprio and all that stuff. So, well, I mean, with that said, hey, I just want to shout out Concha de Conchos real quick. Just want to say I appreciate you putting in so much time and the effort, Rambo. You are the highlight of all Tuesdays. Mars Day is for Rambo. LOL.
I deeply appreciate that compliment. Thank you. It's very heartening and fulfilling. I appreciate the sincere compliment. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's all about the love, man. It's all about the love. You always bring mind-blowing information, as does Cody. Shout out Cody. Shout out Myron. I mean, wow. This
Yeah,
has
Myron's
been an
great.
awesome stream tonight.
Yeah, thank you, BPM.
says-
BPM's he's helped me a lot with some of his observations. He's helped my decodes.
Yep. So a lot of love coming your way,
Thank you.
Rambo.
Yeah,
We all
appreciate it.
love you over here. Let me take the stage here really quick just to make sure for those who may not be familiar with your work. I doubt it, but just in case, please let the viewers, the new viewers, know where they can find you and support you.
Yeah, thanks again. It's patreon.com/thetruthcodes, 1 tier, $5 a month. There is some free content. You can join for free. And you get access to Discord and share some of the other. I know BPM is active on Discord too. He's a brilliant mind. There are many other brilliant minds. Some quite scholarly minds. I'm also on Instagram.com/thetruthcodes. So I know Instagram is a short attention span. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll have a short video on Patreon, might be a 10 or 8 or 4 or 5 minute video. And on Instagram, I'll do a portion of, I'll do like a 2-minute portion or something of it, because Instagram, like even 2.5 minutes for Instagram is a lot of time. But yeah, I am on Instagram.com/thetruthcodes as well.
Well, we sincerely appreciate it, Rambo, as always. I'll do a final closeout for Decoding with Cody. I just want to extend a thank you, as always, to Cody for the sacrifices he makes to be a part of this panel and part of the show. It's not easy getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning and then going back to sleep and starting your day and doing all that. So love you, Cody. Thank you so much for all of the hard work that you put in on your channel. You guys can find him at Decoding with Cody 589 on YouTube. So if you guys have not followed Decoding with Cody, honestly, right now, please make sure that you do it. You will not be disappointed. He also has a Buy Me a Coffee link here below, buymeacoffee.com/decoding with Cody. Coding and Cody spelt with K's. But he does phenomenal work, and I always appreciate having him join us every week. Another shout out to He Got Game. You guys, please give He Got Game some love. Myron Davis. His work as of right now is only on Instagram, so this is only where you will find his work. However, he has been ramping up his content on his stories. So right now, pull out your phones, pull up your Instagram, make sure that you guys give him a follow at He Got Game, where the E's are 3s, pretty simply put, with an underscore at the end. So H3GOTTGAM3_. Great people, great content, amazing work, and he's been a big part of my growth journey as well. So just want to shout all of you guys out. Final reminder about myself, AJ, Balll Don't Lie, 3 L's and Ball. You guys can email me anytime at wordplaybook, 3 O's and book @gmail.com. I have all of these books readily available for anybody who is interested. I have since taken them down from the Patreon just because I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem that people really value, paying for the type of work and content that comes out there. So for me, it's more of a matter of, hey, if you guys want it, reach out to me. You'll get it. It's all about those that are interested in the knowledge. So really appreciate it, you guys. That's all I have. I'll do a final shout out really to the chat. Please make sure that you guys hit that like and subscribe and the share wherever you guys see fit on the way out. It really, really does help with getting the word out, and it helps with growing the channel and building up on the algorithm. So, and once again, just like Rambo's Discord, this is just an amazing gathering every week for us to share knowledge and insight and additions and comments. And I have so much fun with you guys. So I just want to shout out everybody that tuned in, that chimed in, and I very much look forward to the next one.
So
Anything
I just
else
want
on your?
to
Yeah,
say
Rambo.
that Kiwi's channel is Kiwi, just Kiwi.
Oh, it's just Kiwi.
Kiwi, which I think it's amazing he was able to find that name. That name was available. Kiwi. Yeah.
That's it, huh? Okay. So you guys can find Kiwi at Kiwi. Just search Kiwi. You guys should be able to find it. So
on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yep. Yeah. Speaking of which, Akuda says, thanks, guys, including Cody and Myron. Awesome show. You guys make it that much better. Seriously. The show would not be where it is without you guys tuning in. Make sure to share, bring on a friend for next week. But outside of that, we'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time.
All right. Take care.
Peace, ballers.
Spent the night in a Hyperborean chamber. I looked around and thought, bruv, who hired the painter? Hyperborean memoriam, auditorium, all cause I got picked up in the Hyperborean DeLorean. Introducing all love. Jack Ruff. Yeah. Invisible diamond minerals, crystalline and swimming pools, interdimensional realms of scrapping Catherine, Bahamas, Azores, Atlantis shores, mountains, temples, marble floors, seafloors, treasure and cities lost. Yeah, bruv, in it. Oh, sphinxes, pyramids and minotaurs, fruit grown in grove luxuriant. In it. Inhabitants intelligent, closest seen to perfection. The whole experience, heaven to them, polar aurora, horizon beyond them. Flats and sky, lake of fire, core and flora, above bright comets, tornadoes, turbulence, not prohibition, law, not forbidden, thought, expansive places, massive. In it, yeah, bruv, in it, oh. Just hanging around. Yeah. Telling stories in the hyperbole.